Their free-flowing style can put them atop the CSGO world again. Welcome on stage, G2 Esports. And the players. Shots. Body. NBK. Apex. Kenny S. And their coach, Smith. And their coach. Nothing is predetermined. Everything is on the line. This is DreamHack Masters.
Being in front of a crowd is like really exciting. It is great to be in the final, especially that the team has been playing really well lately.
Using that CZ, maybe just debating one pistols here, but that's giving it up. Kenny S hits the first two shots. Of course he does. Beautiful stuff there.
Right, there's not going to be time. There's the one shot, and now with 4 seconds, and he's going to get the plant down. Lucas comes charging in. Oh my God, Shoxy, you've got to be kidding. Taking the kill, mid-air shot.
It's amazing. It's my first grand final with this team and like ever. So it feels amazing and the crowd was spectacular.
Back, the pressure is on. Config gets one headshot. Another third. Oh my God, Config shutting down Immortals.
And she's going to have to fight that duel.
AC, it's just a question of finding a couple of more frags. They have to remember he has to put the bomb down. Still fighting him. Oh my God, AC still trying to get it. You've got to be kidding, AC with the ace clutch.
You don't get many of these in your competitive gaming lifetime. A stadium full of fans ready to watch you play your favorite game. It is gonna be cutthroat. 3 maps is the absolute maximum we can see before a champion is crowned. A trophy in between the 2 teams of 5. Coaches standing behind them, unable to control everything. Everything that's been said now has been said. The strategy laid out. It is now all about execution. I'm looking forward to see just how good the game can get. G2 and North then, as it's time, gentlemen, to start putting money where your mouth is and try and comprehend how this first map will go down.
Yeah, look, Alex, I really like what I saw out of North's Inferno. I think what they did to Immortals was really good. I love that transitional defense that they had going, and I think that there's a big weakness that can be exploited on the side of G2s, which is they don't have anybody doing any form of apartments aggression. We rarely saw someone playing around that boiler area. Kenny did it once or twice with the AWP when we saw them earlier in the tournament, and he got punished time and time again. So I think if that's something that North can identify and they can take over early, that will help them play the rotations. They already have a good game plan, and that could just give them an extra 15, 20 seconds in this first map to make the magic happen. I'm going to go with North on Inferno.
They're taking it. Okay, Halvor, replicate the same?
Yeah, it's very tempting to pretty much copy-paste what Chad was speaking of. And I think, even though we see G2 in the finals at this point, they could have so easily been out of the tournament due to their match on Inferno. And I think that's something that, is important to keep in mind as well. It was a lot of heroics that actually got them to the point where they are right now. And for the case of heroic, it doesn't really feel that way. For them, it's just been kind of just a steady march towards the finals. And I think their Inferno in that sense has looked more steady and more reliable than what we've seen from G2. Again, nothing to take away from G2. It's just that I feel like North has been that notch above. So for me, I'm taking the first map to North.
Get to see North's heroics on Inferno. Yanko, you're going to be jumping on the Danish hype train for Inferno. This is G2's pick.
For Inferno, no. I still have North taking the series. They've just been playing a really, really solid Counter-Strike throughout this tournament so far. But on Inferno, I do believe that G2 is more comfortable. You have to also realize G2 is not going to be scared at all or worried about North. They are coming into this game with full confidence individually and as a team. Now, that might not be, you know, warranted, but it is how they're going to play. And I do believe that they're going to take Inferno, but North will take the series.
Damn, okay. It does seem like we use the word confidence a lot, and actually, when you do think about it, you've got two teams here who do ooze confidence. It's going to be a question of who can actually put the frags on the scoreboard and to justify some of that confidence. I think I'm kind of besotted just by the simple fact that I got to see North 13-2 against SK. Like, that doesn't happen, it shouldn't happen, and admittedly SK were the deflated Brazilian side this time, so maybe pinch of salt and everything, but yeah, I'm jumping on board. I think the Danes take Inferno, and G2 are going to have to battle back from a deficit as we venture into that second and potential third map. I'm hearing word, though, that before we jump into game, a player is actually resolving an issue with his monitor. So instead of it being short and snappy, we get to jump into some more of the in-depth
We tried there to be as quick so we could get going, didn't we? But
we did our best.
We want to go deep. Do we want
I want to know if there's anything that you've wanted to say that has yet to be said around surrounding these two teams, individuals, or perhaps even their run.
I think for the map, when you look at Inferno and that game against SK, for example, that you referenced, North didn't do anything special, nothing extraordinary, no amazing executes, right? It was very good, very solid, but fundamental CS. And it was because SK underperformed individually more than anything else that North went on to have such an amazing Inferno game. I think against G2, it's not going to be the same. Part of the reason is this guy leaving me Apex. This had an amazing tournament. A guy who has been underperforming recently for G2. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see whether he can maintain his level of form, because he is the entry fragger. Yes, G2 plays a lot being spread around the map, so it's not like always he's the first guy going in, but he does take a lot of fights.
Don't you think that G2 gave away a lot of first picks against NIP? I thought Draken was doing a really good job at finding openings with that AWP when he actually had it. And that was making life difficult for G2. The only thing which saved them was some good reads, some good bomb site stacks and heroic plays there. That's something that I think, you know, North as a squad are going to be able to capitalize on better than what we did see from NIP. So that's another win condition, I think, going in the favor of North.
Because they don't have that type of an opper. I mean, Cajun can go for picks, but he's not hyper aggressive.
That's true.
But they have a secondary opper who's absolutely fantastic.
There it is.
Yeah, like... he's doing a lot of crazy stuff right now, and actually I think that's something that we yes, we've mentioned Config and we talked about him to a fair bit, but oftentimes when we talk about playing versus very aggressive players, it's often that tilt factor that comes into play. I think if Apex runs into just, you know, a borderline idiotic Config in terms of like how he approaches his duels, I think that's something that could tilt him off the face of the planet. And at that point we see like Apex is a guy who, as many entry fraggers do, get very easily kind of into the groove of the game or taken out of them. Right. And that's depending on how they do initially in their duels. And that's when you see Apex, you know, if he gets off to a good start, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I can kind of notch in Apex to get towards 40. You know, like that doesn't seem out of the realm of possibilities. But I think a guy like Config is annoying enough to play against to the point where he can actually be very frustrating to play versus for G2.
We need to point out again that Shox had to have a huge performance against NIP as well. Like he posted like
21 or 22?
Yeah, in the first half, right? Yeah. So that was also a big factor. And Kenny was missing some sitters that we'd normally see him hit. That's another issue for G2 coming into this one. If Kenny's not on form and Shox doesn't have another performance like that, then they're going to have a few issues there. And not only that, when they switched over to the T side, I thought that G2, you know, it seemed like they wanted to rush that game. But if they get into this one and they go for force buys, if they start on the T side, their game plan didn't look very solid. When they actually took the ecos, they calmed down. They decided, hey, we'll just do defaults. We'll get banana control. We'll get mid-wall control. We'll go from there. They look fantastic. But we know this team can be stubborn.
Yeah.
So it's what version of G2 is coming into this matchup.
Damn. Okay, this has been a fantastic chat, guys, because it does really feel that you've got two very close teams, close veto, and we've got some casters who are incredibly close as well. They're going to be voicing the grand final. Please, Malmö, welcome Anders and Moses. What on earth are you wearing?
Listen, didn't iron my shirt this morning, so I thought I'd cover it up with a G2 scarf.
Okay.
That's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. Suits you, actually, I think.
Management at its finest.
Incredibly biased, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hard to deal with, isn't it? Oh,
Tough time over there.
Say about that.
Oh, that's surprising, seeing you with that flag.
Yeah, I'm on the bandwagon, Moses.
Yep, we sure are, boys. This is going to be a good one, isn't it? This is going to be absolute fire. Stars on both teams. I like the Apex versus Config matchup because those are players that just take over the game single-handedly, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, Inferno, our first map, we're all saying North. Is there any G2 Samurai on the casting desk?
Yeah, I think we have one.
I got a hat over here.
Just a single.
Yeah, I'm all swagged out.
Wait, okay, wait, Jason,
against the wall.
How shortest samurai in the history of
Listen, I've got one of those great samurai ponytails as well.
But
So it's
do you have like a North cap or something lying in the back just to be ready to make that flip-flop like you often do in the back room? Oh.
I'll take the flag if I need it.
Yeah. All right, guys, you're going to have an absolute blast. Grand finals start right now.
Thank you very much, Alex. Yes, indeed, we will. It's going to get exciting. You're getting rid of the G2 scarf already.
Yeah.
Getting a bit hot in here,
Where's
isn't
the
it?
flag?
It's too hot in this little box. But this is going to be an incredible game, I think. Rematch of the Pro League Finals. And just, I think, all-around action. None of these two teams you could say are boring to watch.
No, they certainly aren't. And actually, it was funny listening to that death segment because everything they said was very accurate, very true. The one thing that I'm surprised that I didn't hear them bring up was that defense of Banana from North yesterday was so scary. I know we just had a chat about it before coming on the camera. MSL and Config were absolute monsters at the top of Banana on the CT side, and if they can keep that control in this match as well, that spells a lot of trouble for G2. So a lot of reasons to be pumping for the Danes here in this match.
Ways to abuse that as well. I look forward to getting into that just a bit more. I mean, it seems like people have forgot a bit how to play Inferno, but there used to be a very cool boost at the bottom of Banana on the T side, where you just, boost the guy with the AWP, let that be Kenny, and snipe off Config or MSL. I mean, I think there are solutions to this problem.
Well, it's easier said than done. There are, they did a phenomenal job of timing with their nades and using the Molotovs and everything, but it is a good point with Kenny because we'll just touch on it real quick. Won't need to bring it up too much. It's very well known that AWPing on the T side of Inferno is a very difficult thing, but Kenny is one of those AWPers that defies all rules, that defies all logic that you can possibly place in it. So if anyone is going to make it successful, if anyone's going to make it impactful, it will be Kenny S. And the countdown, I think the knife round is still yet to be done. No, it's actually completely live.
They have been doing it already, so I'm wondering, is everyone in this arena ready for a little bit of Counter-Strike? Malmö! There we go. North and G2 in the grand finals here at DreamHack Masters Malmö. Let's get this show on the road. G2 on the T side and North going to be on the CT side first. And Valde is right in the middle with a Glock bullet in his jaw. Has to fall back right away, and then they're going to power up behind it. Another headshot lands, and G2, they're not even going to commit to this. That's so much damage, almost no risk. Another bullet on Config. What in God's name is happening here, Moses?
Well, we know they're not going to be shy about taking fights, and they've done all the work so far. Just got to finish it off. There's the opening kill. Config in the back, though. He's got to go down quick. The reinforcements are on the way, but the bomb site is lost. Not even any utility on this G2. So, I thought that was NBK for a moment, but this pistol round is already over, Anders.
That's an unbelievably brutal way to get started. The run and gun with the Glock out of the French team, and it's so beautiful. 3 connections all over the map, and I mean, if you're North at that point, what do you call? Is there anything you can do?
No, there's really not. I mean, G2 played it great because they get those 2 Gooshes up mid. They know they've got 2 players very low, but don't press the issue. They fell all the way back to B, and the crazy thing was it even pulled the defender, pulled MSL away because he had 2 teammates at the A bomb site say, I've got 10 HP, I can't take fights, we have to fall back into the site, we have to be passive, we can't even play for information. Trying to hunt down this armor. G2 is just relentless at the moment.
And they're going to find him as well. See a couple of G2 shirts in the crowd and some cool signs as well. The fans are definitely here and have shown up. And that's a nice way to get started if you're on the French side here. Winning the terrorist pistol, always good.
Yes, it is quite good. And I mean, the big thing is, Chad brought it up, is just the timing between North playing the semifinal and now G2 coming out with that kind of pace. You don't get any breathers if you're North.
No, and I would say that's the downside to being G2, is that you may be a little bit more cold. Certainly doesn't seem like it. They're just straight in here.
You can make the argument either way. I don't think anyone's really figured it out completely. It matters on the team as well. Config gonna get aggressive. There's another great pop flash. This is what we talked about. Their timing is impeccable, and they've got the opening 2 kills.
This big duo between MSL and Config, it did remarkably well yesterday, and we'll see if it can continue today. This was very well timed. That was a 3-man flash, I believe. That's not easy.
I think yesterday in the quarterfinal, they even had like a 5-man flash. They couldn't get any kills from it, but I mean, great job. They figured out a perfect flashbang to throw. If you're G2 here, it gets tricky because you almost don't know if you want to pressure the B bomb site, but in all likelihood, you probably realize if this is a standard setup, there's still going to be 3 over at A, so you still kind of want to go towards B. It's just very worrying considering what just happened.
The problem is they're going to be close against that C set 75, and it's not like AC is that far away with the rotation over by that archway. G2 have 1 flashbang. Maybe if it's good, it can work. That's a nice jump for information there, but it still goes down. MSL with the kill, C set in hand. And now it's Config with a deagle, buying time, but not going to get the kill. Shots with a good crouch in, leaves it 2 versus 2. AZ and Valde going to come in from separate angles. 1 good flashbang to force a bit of pressure there. Kenny, though, dangerous with the AK, just shoulder peeking that and doing a lot of damage.
Still got more to find. This is a great setup, though, from G2. They should be safe, despite any crazy shot at AZ, who's gotten close up. They haven't had eyes on it. There's the kill, and there's Kenny with the tap. Just keeping that angle pre-fired, keeping bullets raining over, and Valde can't make a move. So they survived some early danger, but, I mean, just equally, that puts them on notice as well. You're not going to be able to take that B bomb site easily.
That's just very well done. I like the little jump to see who's on top of the box there, because that's so easy to communicate, and yeah.
And then it's a brilliant setup. I mean, he's on that box, but MSL stacked vertically directly in front of him. So turning the corner, you're pre-aiming above, and you get surprised by MSL with the CZ.
It's going to feel really great for G2. It puts North back on USP and nothing else.
Look at this buy, though, from G2. They know they've taken some economic damage, and they know this is the round that there's going to be nothing bought up from North in terms of armor. So Apex gets the MAC-10, but they have Shocks, and they have NBK on just pistols, CZ and P250. So saving some money this round by cheating a buy. And actually, these are great dinks coming out, but that one's a bit better.
Yeah, NBK winning a fight. It's annoying getting shot in the face with the USP, even if it doesn't kill you straight away. Just you have to be so much more careful for the next engagement. I like this from Valde, though. It's very aggressive, just tired of waiting around. He's going to spot out 1. Could have been a good kill on NBK, but he's a bit quicker this time. So now there's only 3 members left of North. Can't expect too much out of them this round. In the next round, though, it's going to be interesting. I'm really, really stoked to see that fight over at Banana and how it plays out. G2 will have seen it. They must have realized how good that was in the last match for North, so...
Yeah, surely someone told them. I know they've got NKJ here as well, so
yeah,
it's not just Smiths as the coach, but they've got other eyes working on it. Here's Apex trying to build up some money. That entry fragger, we know if Apex goes off, this G2 team is hard to stop, but in reality, you can say that about any of their players. Another great game out of Shocks would be phenomenal in the grand final, and with the MAC-10, he doesn't immediately find Config, but there's the USP. So now we get to the exciting part. The first gun round coming out. We'll see the buy out of North. They did invest in that second round, so you're going to see it somewhat beat up in terms of the utility they can bring forward, but it's all right. 4 M4s, the FAMAS on MSL, and importantly, the utility on MSL and Config is great. They've got 2 Molotovs, 2 smokes, flashbangs. They got HA needed, so this B defense, this banana hold is going to be as strong as it possibly can.
First smoke there was set up by AZ, so he's going to fall back immediately after, just helping them out, making sure they can save their own smokes for later on. That's really sort of the name of the game here. G2 using quite a bit of utility to clear the apartments, which are not often occupied, I feel like, from the CT side. Usually no one's up there.
Yeah, we mentioned that a couple times. Teams don't necessarily like being so aggressive in those apartments. It's tough. Takes you out of the fight. There's a lot of spam spots, and teams just mostly just want to leave it alone. There's the banana control. G2, at least in this round, not even going to mess with it. Just going to be content to let them have it. North, they're playing a mid-control style. Cajun and AZ going to boost up to peek around the corner over the smoke. And it's a little bit too late. They've already made their way up, and now they're pressuring the bomb site.
Flashbangs are in. Valde has to stay alive in the graveyard here. Otherwise, this bomb site's going to go down really quickly. Reinforcements should be coming in. There's a good spray over the smoke to take down Shocks. A jump up from Buddy to drop Valde and then BK with a great headshot. Taking down MSL. That's important. It's going to be 3 versus 4 now. And the bomb, it's in the pit for the moment because they need to clear out AC. One grenade and the Molotov follow-up. And AC, oh no, he is on fire, but not in the good way. Config and Cajun B have to just fall back here. That's very tough for G2 to do. I feel like waiting in pit that long, you've got to be wondering if this goes wrong, if we don't get the kill on AC right away, then the backup's going to be there.
It shows a lot of poise as well, which is something that G2 has been criticized for in the past. But just not having success, not getting that sight immediately, but still being patient, especially when Valdi gets a kill, it starts to get worrying. They obviously must have spotted AZ because he hadn't fired a bullet at that point, but just taken out by nades. Good call for the save from North. This is also fun on this map as well because NBK is turned, I know he does it on Nuke as well, but he plays more of a lurking role, and he's doing it here on Inferno. That's a great find in ult mid to just delay any reinforcements that are going to be coming in. So great all-around job by G2 largely. I mean, we still haven't seen that battle at Banana.
But that's also one way to avoid losing rounds, is just let them have it as much as you can. I mean, that Banana defense can be just about as good as it wants to be, but if you can't hold the other side of the map, then G2 are going to be fine with that trade. 4-0 in favor of the French. And North saved 2 rifles. It's about the only positive thing we can say so far.
Yes, and what do they do with them in this round is another big question. So Config and Cajun and MSL all towards the B bomb site. So maybe this is an attempt at a bait and switch where Config is being highly aggressive, but you still got a couple players in the site. If they do go fast banana and get that kill, maybe they decide to pressure and run into a trap, but that's not happening from G2. They are just extremely cautious, taking apartments control over towards the A bomb site. 2 players at the bottom of mid. That's Body and Kenny S. They're just going to be waiting for a push that isn't coming.
Config, not the sort of player, it seems, that likes to be still for too long. Gets a bit anxious after a while and wants to go and find a fight. He's still lingering over there in the rotation, starting to happen towards the A-bomb side. Might have to be pretty quick here. AC's in a great position, though. It's kind of hard to spot him when he's on top of that bicycle down in the pit, and he can duck down very easily. See just one little crouch, and he's under the wall. Crouches back up again, and he can spot anybody's face. Still 50 seconds left, and a lot of damage being put into Body. And G2, what are they going to do here?
This battle is a bit tense. Kenny just holding the angle. It's close enough range for MSL to be effective, and Apex already has one into the bomb site. So yeah, this is going to be tough. They're crunched and pit as well, and they're going to turn the corner of this bomb site. There's Kenny peeking out. It looked like it could have been a tough battle for the bomb site, but G2 makes it easy. That's going to be a 5th for them, and Config again just bailing out, trying to save that weapon, and he should be all right. The question, though, if G2 wants to, they have enough money if they would like to chase it down, but they may decide to just save it.
That's a great round to explain and help understand why you can't let the terrorists have control of quad, which is that short side on A. If you let them do that, you see they throw the grenades and then they're on the bomb side. It happens almost simultaneously. And from a counter-terrorist point of view, you hear the grenade and you're trying to call it into your teammate, and then you're getting shot in the face at the same time. Like, there has to be a delay between those two things for you to mount any kind of defense.
You're also trying to find the timing where you're not going to get blind by any flashbangs that are thrown or damaged by any grenades, and also having to peek and make sure they can't make their way into the site. So, yes, this time they only have pistols, obviously, so it's much more difficult. And right at the end, NBK gets in a fight with Config, but nothing comes from that. They take some damage, no one falls, and we're going to get a timeout out of North. Quick start for G2. 5-0. We mentioned yesterday the defenses out of North have been stellar.
Right now, all of the players that you'd like to see play well on G2 definitely are. It shocks Kenny and Apex, all at 5 kills with, well, 0 or 2 deaths. It's a very, very good sign right now for the French side.
If you go the other way with it, if you check out the Danes, you know, we keep pumping up this B defense, but you're right. If the A bomb site falls, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Cajun B and AZ each with 0 kills, so they have yet to get started in this match. AZ, we know, has had a phenomenal tournament in terms of his turnaround from recent performances, and Cajun as well seems a little bit resurgent here in Malmö.
I'd love to see G2 try and just grenade down either arch or quad this time, just in the anticipation that North will be more active. I think that'd be fun if they actually went for it. It looks like this time they actually want to try and take the fight on Banana. So let's see if all this hype defense between Config and MSL is worth it. It really needs to come in strong for them here. They've got all the utility, so it's not going to be lacking in grenades, certainly.
It's an important hold for MSL and Config. They need to establish this as successful. MSL is close up. If G2 can take this with ease, all of a sudden the entire map opens up for the French team, but that's Valdi, that's NBK getting a bit over-aggressive. And Boiler, double nades come out, shocks all right through the smoke, he gets responded. We saw that fight be so successful for MSL and Config yesterday, but now it's returned. The equalizer is found and rotation's coming over.
They're not going to go for the boost. Config sees a shoulder, but this is dangerous. Is he going to stick around out in the open? One good flashbang on him, and he's going to be done. Apex pretty far back, not setting it up just yet. He could set it up for Buddy if he wanted to. Instead, they're just waiting for Config to make the mistake. 40 seconds here. Flashbang is in. Config wants to go for the fight, but he's going to go down to Buddy instead. I think Cajun was putting that up for Config to capitalize on. Now, it's a 4 versus 3 here, and only 25 seconds. Can Cajun hold on to this? He's got the AWP, and he had a monstrous game, the last one against Gambit. He's got to do it again. They're sneaking in close. Kenny's on the other side. There's one flashbang. And Cajun hiding at the back of the bomb site. First kill happens on Body, and he gets back behind the pillar. Second as well. And Cajun looking for a third. He baits out the shot, and backup is coming in. There's only 5 seconds. All he has to do is live, and that's going to be the round. Kenny has to fall back. Cajun with very smart positional play.
That's so well done. Able to get in cover after every shot and pick them off. Cajun is the hero there. So you could say what you want, that MSL Config duo didn't hold it as strong as we thought, so G2 is going to be happy about that one, but obviously the great rotation, and they had their time. This is the time they could have killed him. A couple shots go out there. Obviously shoulder peek to bait Kenny has his shot on the other side of the boxes is great. Brilliant AWPing from Cajun, just stable, nothing flashy.
And that kind of is the style that I would identify with Cajun anyway. I think
Yes.
his positional play is so strong. It's very hard to AWP against him. Just because he's always going to be in such a good angle. A little double grenade coming out on Body, but the damage has been returned and then some.
Yes, and how aggressive do they want to be? Pop flash out. There's the smoke up from MSL. Body's already through it. They spam through the smoke. That's twice now. 2 rounds in a row. MSL has been killed through a smoke. No sight of his opposition. Got to be feeling a little stressed after that. It's basically the same exact round that G2 ran. NBK over towards Boiler in these hulls. And now with that 1 kill towards B, they can shift the attack over towards A because it's been weakened with a player rotating out.
This is great stuff out of G2. Absolutely shows that they have been studying the game from yesterday. They know what's up, and that's the kind of preparation you expect out of a team that wants to win this grand final. Cajun just looking towards the boiler room with the AWP, and there's going to be a big presence in middle. He misses the first chance. And the problem is falling back just means you're going to get completely crunched. Coming out from apartments as well as NBK any second now. And Cajun, oh my God, they're in trouble right now, North. It might not seem like it right now, but this is going to be almost impossible to hold. He's forced in, does take the shot, and Apex goes down. That's not bad at all. 18 seconds, they have to commit to this site. The only one that can hold it here is maybe Valda, close range. Cajun not getting the crossover shot. Valda gonna drop the bomb, and now we're down to 8 seconds. They gotta be quick, G2, otherwise they're gonna run out of time. NBK with a great double kill, and the bomb plant will happen. 2 versus 3, right on the edge here for G2.
That's sick, that's so well done in North. Cajun did everything he could to hold on to that bomb site. It's not gonna happen, and they're just gonna save again. They're gonna give it up, because these are the only guns likely. They can still force a buy in the next round if they keep these alive, and they will. But you can see this is a tactical approach to G2 that a lot of us have wanted to see for some time. Ever since this squad was formed, it was looking at it, you're just saying this is skill. This is so many good individual players, but they're missing the tactical side. Here you can see Molotov thrown from A apartments all the way over to the mini pit. That forces Cajun B to peek out towards Rap side, and you can see it was Apex coming through the smoke, was there to pick him off, but Cajun wins the battle. It just locks him out of the fight. Great job, and even running down to the wire, still North almost held on.
And you want to say if they replayed that battle between Apex and Cajun a couple of more times, probably Apex wins most of those.
Yes,
that's not easy.
That's a stressful shot to win if you're Cajun. Just being in that kind of a situation with all the smoke around, with you knowing it's going to be the execute, and also knowing that it's just you and one other player who's in the bomb site. You don't even have that second player in pit. That's where you saw Shocks when he turns that corner to the default plant spot. He's looking pit because he's expecting there to be some kind of crossfire set up. Still, the bomb site gets lost in a second. Tactical pause out of North. That's 2 very quick. They're going to start running low, so even if they do get back into this game, it might hinder them as it goes on. if they don't have any timeouts late in the second half.
Now we're in a grand finals, and I would say AC's had a very good tournament. But right now, he's actually got 0 kills the first 7 rounds. As an individual, that's obviously incredibly stressful. It looks like a bit of a counter Molotov coming in. A lot of damage being dished out. Body will get the kill, but this might actually not be that bad for Northval. They're trying to see if he can find the timing through, but he's being spammed down. The follow-up grenade to take him down. Oh, Kenny, that's unbelievably annoying if you're Valde. He's going to just have to shake his head, and yeah, I can understand why they're falling back from this. It looked like they were running into a bit of a meat grinder there.
I thought it was insane, actually. They were running through that Molotov, but, I mean, this is G2 we're talking about. They haven't lost all the traits that made them such a fun French team to watch in the past. Just throwing caution to the wind, and, I mean, you think about it. MSL twice now that he's been spammed through smoke without seeing his opponent. That time it's Valde. Some of these players have got to be feeling very stressed. Not going well for them, and MSL's just got to bail out. Good kill. Actually, no, he's going to go for more. He's feeling it.
Just pretending, almost takes down Apex. Down on that ramp towards T-spawn, sorry. Config trying to hide. I'm wondering, Moses, back in the day, did you ever had a round like this or a game like this, like AZ's having right now, where just nothing's connecting? Like, what do you do? How do you get out of that?
I mean, you just have to find ways to be impactful, right? Because the main reason why it's so tough to bounce back from that is just because you feel useless for your team, and that's what starts to make you feel awful. So the big thing is you always know you're going to have another moment coming where you can have the impact needed, and even if you're not going to be putting up monster amounts of kills, even if you're not getting double kills, you know, every round, even when they come to your bomb site, you can just say maybe it's, you know, a clutch situation. Maybe it's a 1v1. Maybe it's a flashbang I'm going to throw for my team. So you have to focus on what you can do to positively help. And just find something small to build upon. But no, I never had one of those answers.
All right, I was waiting. I thought you were dodging that question a bit. I'm glad we found that out. Config being very aggressive here towards bottom. Madonna all the way down the T ramp. He's going to get 2 easy targets lined up, and this is one of those rounds where you want to say if they can't win this, then the first half is probably going to be a complete wash, isn't it? Because you know that you've just got 90% of the way there.
Yes, G2 is going to be kicking himself for that. They seemed everything was going so well, and that's the danger of someone like Config. We know that he is not scared to make any play at any moment in a game, and they just let their guard down for a moment, and he pounces. Kenny S misses his smoke as well, so rough round for G2 overall, and they're going to have to just cross their fingers and come through this and hope there's some missed shots on the north side of things.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Jump out into pit. Cajun hears it, gonna pull out the pistol instead, and Apex will go down after getting a kill. Shocks with a good return, taking down Cajun. Leaves MSL on the bomb site here with backup coming swiftly, including from those apartments, which Kenny was ready for. That's almost unbelievable. Now we're back in a 2-on-2, and North, this cannot happen. Config will take down Kenny, and he's gonna shut down the last 1-2 for the quad kill to get the second round on the board here for the Danish side. That got way too close, didn't it?
Well, Config does a great round. The tough part for G2, they really were never going to get back into that at that point when they were in the pit, just because Shocks had the AK-47. He's the one that needs to take over the bomb site, and he's got low HP, he's in the pit. He just can't be the aggressor. And Kenny's hoping for some picks, hoping someone peeked, but without anything given to him, he as well wasn't going to be able to do anything into that site. So great job by Config, a 4-kill to get his team finally on the board again. But now the challenge, there's the duel, and Kenny's gonna win it. He is so sick at that shot.
Another big victory for G2 early on in the rounds here. North have got to be very worried, not able to win that fight over at Archer. The pressure that it puts on the A-bomb site, we've seen it time and again. G2, when they start wrapping and collapsing on that A site, having just 2 players there, it's almost never enough, is it?
No, it really isn't. The smoke is going to block them off, but you could see Kenny trying to pick off Config. We saw this a bunch. MSL pushing down while Config plays for the bait. I don't think G2 is necessarily going to go for it. They have a pretty clear avenue with that pick over towards A.
I mean, this is dangerous for MSL. He doesn't have a smoke or anything, so if they decided to Molotov this corner to check it, then he's just dead immediately. He's waiting and looks like he's going to have the shadow advantage. They're going to go for the double peek, and MSL just gets the one. That might not have been enough here. Let's see how fast G2 want to be. They still have a presence over at Boiler, and it looks like they are going to slow down at top banana. But we are at 25 seconds, so they need to make up their minds right now. And this boost is great for North. This is maybe what's going to win them the round if it happens. A lot of Molotovs raining in on the other side. 17 seconds now as they make their way through. Quanfig going for a big spray and only connects with the one. He needed a bit more flashbang to cover up anyone trying to cross there, and the bomb will be planted. So AZ and Valde, is this going to be the retake? Is it worth it?
No, it's another round again. I think they're just locked out. AZ's already bailing out. Valde's stuck, so he's going to have to fight his way out. But it is going to be the 8th round for G2. They have denied North from putting rounds together this entire half. And look at all the bomb plants we've had, Anders. This is the 6th bomb plant we've had in 10 rounds. So a lot of success at getting into these bomb sites for them. Just a great job trading. MSL needed to get 2 kills there because with that pickoff, Config had to cheat his rotation with MSL in an advanced position like that. And then even with no smoke to cross, they just sure, even if someone's on the boost, they're going to trade him off immediately. This is really, really good stuff on the T side for G2.
Feel like anytime you're a team playing up against Kenny, you're just hoping that he's not having a good day, and definitely not a great day. And right now, he's at 9-1-1. Just look at this fight against Cajun B. Incredibly sexy Counter-Strike that's coming out. And then also AZ on the other side of the scale, just not having a fun time. 6-round gap is developing here between G2 and North. And if we contrast the kind of defense that we're seeing here out of North from what it was yesterday, it's so much more passive.
Well, they haven't really had the utility to be as aggressive as they'd like. Now, here's the benefit. G2 decides to pick up the pace towards Banana. They can catch Apex off guard. Aids to force Config off that corner. There's the flash. MSL not moving. He's getting counter flash. That's so unfortunate. Unlucky timing. He's got to go with this one. He turns around, but he gets taken out. They have not found the same timings. They're not as synchronized as we saw yesterday in Config. He's just got to try and man this up right behind this smoke, but no one's coming through it.
Does some good damage onto Apex, but you're absolutely right. Yesterday, all it took was one good flashbang, and MSL will get a couple of kills, maybe Config instead sometimes, but this is a different story. G2 with great counter flashes. They've left body up there, which is always a good idea. It's a very strong position to hear rotations falling out of the B-bomb site, and also if anyone goes to peek banana, maybe they forget about this little corner. 40 seconds now.
Yeah, as soon as some pressure is applied, it depends on the way Body wants to play it. He can play it passive and listen for information and try and pounce and flank, or if they apply pressure to the A-bomb side, he can get aggressive with it and peek out and try and pick someone off on the rotation. At the moment, though, because he's playing passive, you see the bomb rotating back. They just want to come back to this portion. They're just relying on him to hold down the map control, and he's going to sneak in. And he could spot the boost, and Cajun's got an angle. Here come the nades. Body's going to lead it. He spots Cajun jumping up. He's blinded, though. Is he going to check for Config? Over to the left at Oranges. There's the check, and he gets the kill. And even Cajun B's going to be brought down. No impact from him.
This is a masterclass in playing T-side Inferno out of G2. North look like a team right now that have been completely outplayed here. We saw them yesterday, and they looked so good against Gambit, and now... Yeah. They've got no chance at all, it looks like. So what can they change? You said they don't have the utility to be as aggressive as maybe they would want to be.
Honestly, I feel like I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but this is a situation where some of these setups they've had aren't bad. They're getting unlucky with some of the timings. Maybe play a little bit more passive. Don't use as much utility at top banana. Play it passively there. The tough part is they also don't want to play too aggressively at the A-bomb site because Kenny's been effective at getting those picks. So you still have to find a way to hold the map control. You need something because you've given G2 everything in this half. So play top mid with 3 players. Maybe get aggressive in halls, but you need to find a way to give your team just one pick, some kind of an advantage.
Why, Moses? Why did it have to be AZ getting found at the end of that round? It's just not his game, is it, right now?
Nothing's going right for him.
Oh, man. Well, everyone has to go there at one point, it seems, in their Counter-Strike career. Everyone has to have one of those games. You just always hope it's not in the grand final, but...
Well, listen, you want to talk about people having bad games in grand finals. Remember, there's that historical Cologne 2015 grand finals where Kenny S had that very bad game against Fnatic. And
on Cobble?
Yeah, ended the tournament in tears on the stage, shaking hands. So he's definitely bounced back. It happens to everyone, even the gods.
Yes, it does. And I mean, it felt like really he went through a long period of, you know, just not being very happy and not being very effective either. And it's taken a lot of personal growth, it seems, for him to get back to the level that we're seeing it at now, which is terrifying.
Even if you go back to 2013, you know, being dropped from the very games lineup that was competing with NIP, you know, he's been a player that has been removed, that's had to make that growth as a player and as a person. And he's back on the stage in one of the most respected oppers we've had in Counter-Strike. So great story for him. And there's the pick. That's great. Aggression from Valdi. He's going to find one. And then they just back off.
Maybe a tiny smile creeping across the faces of North as they pick up that first kill. But focus has to still remain. They only have USPs on the rest. It's a limit to how much Valdi can do in this situation. Cajun, realizing that angle was open, obviously good news, but how are they going to hold the bomb site against 4 rifles with just USPs? I just don't see this happening here. G2 just need one good grenade, one good Molotov on the bomb site, and all of these positions are going to be very hard to occupy. NBK, he's in first, and he's not overextending, even trying a bit of a wallbang trick there. And AZ just hiding on the site. He's going to pick up his first kill. That's not bad at all. Very low on health. MSL coming in with a headshot, picking up an AWP, and he can't get the shot. That would have been genius. Valdi now coming in from middle. Bomb will go down, but he has a defuse kit, and now 1 versus 2.
And he's got to go for this. He needs to be the hero. That was a very staunch defense.
Sneak it around the corner, but they're both ready and watching for him. And MBK with a great shot. The only one of the round for him. Shocked with the triple. And North just, they can't quite connect the dots. It's close.
It is getting very close. They're also at the point now where we've seen it a couple times, and you can't even fault them for this. It's been good calls throughout this half of when these bomb sites get lost, they're just saving 2 rifles, maybe sometimes 3. They're at the point in the game now where they can't do that. They need rounds. They can't keep playing for the next round because there's only 3 left. And they've got to hold it here. And I think we are going to start seeing a little bit more passive of a defense towards this B bomb site. Just holding it early on, but just slink back, play turtled up, because this has been taken advantage of a number of times.
You have to expect that there are going to be a few North fans in the arena right across from Copenhagen here, but they've been silenced a bit, I can hear. G2 putting the crowd to rest. Oh, they're still out there. Now would be a good time to cheer for North because they are 8 rounds down, and the French are looking incredible on this first map.
Now, this is where it's going to get tough for North as well, because, yes, they're playing more passive defenses and they're not giving up players early on in the rounds, but they're giving up much more map control. And seeing as how they haven't had success in the defense anywhere, it might not funnel G2 into the stacks that they want.
Dangerous peak. But AC lives for the first barrage. Valdi boosted up. He's going to get one, dropping down, and Apex ready to receive him. So a quick trade down to 40 seconds, and G2 look like they want to execute another round on this A bomb site. If they can just find one more opening, the bomb is sort of still a bit back, so they can still swap it around in case they run into too much opposition. Apex, he's being allowed so far into quad. There's no reply right now for North.
They'd love to pop flash peek this, but AZ and Cajun B, they have no utility. They can't do anything. So G2 gets whatever they want. Here comes the hit, gonna try and storm in one more time, clearing the corners. There's one on this site. Great trade. They've got to clear out more, but AZ staying alive as long as possible is his only goal, trying to get one more kill. Time is running down, and there's Shocks to finish it off. Bomb plant immediately after.
With just 4 seconds, he's gonna have just enough time to do it. At least the rotation is not that far off. MSN on Config. That B-bomb side duo now is the time, but NBK will take down a big kill for the double, leaving Config alone in a 1 versus 2, trying to get through the smoke. He gets a headshot on Shocks, and NBK's in the pit, and Config knows it. Jumping up in the graveyard and looking for the angle. There's NBK gone down. Config with a big 1 versus 2. Gonna be going straight for the defuse here. These rounds are so uncomfortably close.
They really are.
It really feels like for North to win a round, it just takes 100% out of all of their players.
Yes, and sometimes more. AZ getting a kill in the back of the bomb site. It was his delaying, staying alive. As little as that did, it finally helped out. This is a great 1-on-2 for Config to win, and this is what's so scary for them is at an individual level, not necessarily being here at the moment, because 2 of the rounds they've won, remember, one was Config when he had the only M4 and everyone else had pistols. He gets 4 kills, including pushing down Banana and getting 2. Now he has to win at 1-on-2. This is tough times for North, and they've got to string them together. If they can win this, if they can get this 5 rounds, we know Inferno can be pretty T-sided. Obviously, it's still going to be a phenomenal half for G2, but North can live with that.
Good peek to top mid. Shox is going to go down over at Archway. Cajun not ready for the re-peek from Apex, who's going to put up a smoke. Quick Molotov to the corner, and this is going to be a bit quicker this time. G2, they've been slow on the A side, but it seems like they've picked up the pace. Valda gets 1, the second kill as well, and AC from the pit finally goes down. NBK with a great double return. And this would be a crushing defeat in this round. If he can win this 1 versus 2, and Nathan to be a hero, could have almost gone down then. The blind peek coming in from MSL, and with the bomb down in front, I don't see the miracle happening this time for NBK.
It would have to be mistakes monumental from the North players.
Well, boosting where he can see it might be the first step in the right direction here. He's 1 bullet away from death, so we're talking about perfection. They make the jump on over, and NBK still waiting for it. If the bomb was down, it'd be a bit different at least. But he has to go and pick it up eventually, and sneaking up by that bicycle and picks up the bomb, so first step in the right direction. Definitely going to have a chance to smoke it off. They've got the money anyway, G2 next round, so this bomb plan not going to help them out that much. Question is, can he hit the headshots? They are coming in from either angle, and MSL will take him down. And North win the round, I think, largely due to this guy, Valda, picking up those 2 kills. That's a 4th round now. Mr. O'Toole.
Yes.
It's 5 rounds or 4 rounds. Is it going to be enough, North? Is it realistic to make a comeback off of that?
Yes, you certainly can. We've seen it done. It's obviously not ideal. I think the more important thing is the fact that North stringing some of these rounds. If they were to end this with 3 kills, you start to just feel, 3 rounds in a row, you start to feel a little bit more positive. The team can get into it a bit more. You're going to help these players come alive. That's what we've been missing. Some of the setups have looked, good. It's not like they're just getting straight up beat on the setups. It's just the players aren't being efficient in their positions. So you start getting them to come alive, win a pistol round. That would be a good start.
Now you're really talking, aren't you?
G2's got to be happy they snagged one here.
They got here even though they won.
They won 0 of 6 against SK. That was an insane match to win, an insane series to win with no pistol rounds.
Yeah, against the best team in the world. Apex gonna try and get his way out. AC takes 1. He's gonna get completely banged by Shox, who takes 2 great headshots. Running in towards Arch. MBK gonna be dropping Cajun. These peaks are so lethal. And MSL and Config gets round number 15, so they have to go for the retake. 2 on 4. It'd be a great one to win. Though they have to deal with Kenny, who misses a shot for once, but not enough to cost his life. And he's not even that scared. He's just gonna go back for the fight. Body taking down MSL. And Config with 1 out of 4. 3 more to come if he's going to get this. NBK goes down as well. Tries to adjust, and he gets shocked with the headshot. Gets a chance to read out now. Body on the side. And Config looking for the last one, but Body with a great headshot right on top of the pillar for an 11-4 finish in favor of G2. That is such a one-sided first half.
It really is. That is brutal from G2, and it just started out early. Tactically, outcalling them, the trading this entire game has been so phenomenal. Great shots from Shox there coming up mid. It seems like that was kind of an answer that North had towards the end, was play more of a mid presence. But G2 focused on the B bomb site so much early on that those guys didn't really see a whole lot of action.
And we started talking about Shox and Kenny a bit, and they have been playing well. They're top of the scoreboard for G2, but the really frightening thing is that everybody else on that team is right behind.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know that this team is traded so efficiently, is when you have all 5 players within 4 kills of each other. It's Shox and NBK at 14 and 12, and then Body, Kenny, and Apex all at 10. So you're having five players contribute to this G2 effort, and it's showing. And as we just said, 4 or 5 rounds, you can make a comeback off of this. You have a window of opportunity, but it starts with a pistol round. If you can't win the pistol round or the second round, then you're really, really in trouble as North. Those are about the 2 mistakes you can give up.
Yes, and we'll see how they do. They're up against the USPs, so one tiny mistake can cost you a life really quickly. MBK with a bit of a drive-by shot down the middle, not going to connect with anyone. Second half coming up here, the first map of the grand finals. The Shocks just spotting out the apartments, not ready and willing to take the fight. And there's no reason why he would. So this is a very common setup for both teams, I would say. Nothing flashy coming out. We do have 2 smokes, though, on north side.
Yeah, so no one even in danger quite yet. I mean, no one's been pressured at all from the T side. I mean, they're just sitting back now. They did have a little bit of aggression towards apartments, but they've all fallen back. So looking for any aggression that G2 is going to come out with. I'll tell you, the one worrying sign is with these smokes and with the fact that North has already adjusted over to the B bomb site. Body and Apex are playing deep in the site. They're playing behind dark, behind triple box. They're giving up a lot of space. They have to hit some huge shots.
And the flashbangs are in. Good one on Body, forcing him back, so he can't take the first couple of shots, but Apex will get a headshot and a second as well. Body hiding in the corner. He's finally going to get run down, but that is a very good start to the defense. MSL and Cajun. Bomb goes down, holding on to the site here. I can understand why Cajun wants to be aggressive. He has to close out Shocks. This is a fight for the round, and he's going to take it. USP versus USP, 17 health, 2 health left, and just 3 bullets, and Shocks is going to win it. Now everything rides on MSL. He's close range behind the pillar, missing the first chance, and he's going to get outdone. That dynamic duo, Shocks and Kenny, winning the round, making it 12 for G2.
You could feel that Cajun B is not feeling some of these fights at the moment. He is pretty shaken, it looks like, from that first half. Really, really rough. Couldn't get into it. That time against Shocks, just really couldn't land anything. But, you know, I said these guys are going to have to hit some phenomenal shots as they came in because that's a lot of space you're giving to the Glocks. And if you don't hit them, all of a sudden they get far too close for USPs to handle. But they nailed the ones that they needed to. 3 kills before they get taken down. That's beautiful work from G2 again.
That's very well done. With this much of a lead, we are going to have to see some kind of breakdown, I think, from the G2's side, just for North to have a chance to get back in here. The economy needs to break down, but there's going to have to be some sort of mental breakdown as well. They look so much in control, and obviously they have an enormous amount of experience on that team, so I am not sure. We haven't even seen Kenny open yet on CT side, but
no, not yet.
That can be lethal too.
That's the next challenge, isn't it? I mean, they have to get there first is the big thing. It's going to be another hit towards the B bomb site. This time they have some Molotovs they can add into it. NBK and Apex playing here. NBK going to spot. He has a decision to make because this smoke's going to come out towards coffins. Likely smoke him off. Actually, they're just going to walk in dry. They're not using the utility. There's the smoke a little bit late. He sees everyone coming. He's been forced back. Good dink, but a TK comes out. That helps him out. Apex now. He's mollied. He gets 1 kill while blind. 2 for 2 trade. That's great from North.
Yeah, definitely worth it, although Cajun getting caught. Shocks not able to follow it up. It looked like that should have been a sure kill. Still helps out, obviously, with the damage. The bomb has only just gone down. There's plenty of time, although they look like they want to run straight through the boosters in. And Kenny getting a kill on Valder. MSL and Cajun, they are in a really weird position. Trying to cover the ruins from that side won't be easy. This flashbang, it might be well timed, but I don't think it's going to buy enough time, though. One comes through, Body goes down, and now the other two going to wrap around the other side, almost stepping on top of each other. There's one, and Cajun, he can't make it work. It's right at the edge. That would have been the big round to win.
That would have been huge, and they tried so hard. They almost did it. I think North buys here again, though. I think you go right back into it. You got 4 kills, you got a bomb plant, and you don't have enough rounds to give up. At 4 to 13, you invest in this, and you put the entire match on the line. It might be the best opportunity you have to reset G2, try and get some of those easy rounds and claw your way back.
And you are exactly right, Moses. They've gone straight for the buy. North know they are at the end of the rope. They have to turn this around. G2 are looking so good on this first map, and someone's going to have to step up and stop them. And Conflict's really been doing his best so far. He's going to have a bit more space to work with on the T side, so if he can get him rolling, might be able to create enough space for the rest of the team to make their way in. Just at the corner over at Banana, and Apex winning that fight early on.
Oh, there's an unwise peek from Apex. It's NBK all on his own behind the fountain. Nowhere to fall back to. He's got to win these. He gets blinded up. He does take out one, and you said it. There's Config. Double kill. Cracks the way into the bomb site. We saw North save in a lot of these situations, so how much does G2 want to devote? Because Body hasn't moved. I don't think G2 moves forward from this position. They're going to give it up. They realize they have such a big lead. The only way North gets back into this game is if they take control of the economy. They don't want to let that happen this early. That's a great call, I think, from G2. Conservative, but smart.
So is that what they're doing, Moses? Just picking up the phone and calling Config and saying, "Listen, we need you to win this game for us." Up until this point, we've been holding out, but
we didn't need you before. We do now. Though.
It's really serious now. You know, we're lacking behind enough. There's a good round there, stealing the 1M4. And North's going to be up at 5 rounds to the 13 of G2, with, as you said, a bit of a gift in Apex over peeking the corner.
Yes. Well, I mean, he was peeking the corner, and he doesn't realize that Config has already crossed over. That's what caught him off guard, and this is just great work by Config. Beautiful trading. Poise as NBK peeks around each side of that fountain. So 5-13. That's been 3 rounds in a row that North has attacked the B bomb site. I wonder if they're setting up for a switch over towards A. And this is the response from G2. 3 players here. Nades are out. Molotov smoke down deep. They've only used nades from 2 players, I believe, so could be hiding the fact that there's a third here.
Yeah, that can always be a really good surprise, can't it?
Yeah, so could Apex with a pop flash, but MSL and AZ, they open things up. There's the third player, but that's shut down. Good idea. It fails.
It's not bad at all, and obviously Kenny and MBK just gonna have to save on the other side of the map, so something is working here. It's always a bit strange when you get these games where it sort of feels like if North could have started now on the T side and we hadn't seen the first half, we'd have a slightly different sort of mental picture of what this game is like. But G2 know they just have to win 3 rounds, so what's the ace up the sleeve from their point of view? Is it just waiting till Kenny gets that AWP?
I mean, I don't think they necessarily have to have that, because I think they still have players who are good enough with the M4s. Even Kenny himself is not a slouch whatsoever with the M4. But obviously that's going to be the next challenge for North, is when he gets that AWP. Not expecting Config there as well. BK just wants a gun, doesn't he?
Desperately, or at least live with the armor and the utility. Not going to be allowed. Config out on the hunt for a double kill, and another round happening here for North. Slow and steady wins the race. 17 kills for Config. In spite of how far behind they are, he's actually top fragging in the server. I guess that says something.
It certainly does. G2's going to save here pretty much entirely. Body with 1 flashbang. It looks like they want to bring that towards A and have some kind of an ambush set up at top mid, but they're going to have another question next round if they want to buy or not, because their money isn't great. Kenny's going to have plenty for the AWP in the next round, but outside of that, there's going to be some players who are lacking certain things, so they have to decide if they want to double save here, if they want to go for, you know, a decent buy with Kenny having an AWP.
Listen, I know I was waving the North flag earlier, but I kind of want to see them peek top mid here just because this setup is so cool. Gonna be a bit of a flashbang into the middle, and unfortunately for G2, nobody's there. In fact, Config with an absolutely ridiculous 4-man. That's a lot of murder happening in the middle.
All they've done is fed the beast. He's going to be loving that, giving him some kills to get him hyped up. And you can see him there on the screens, calling out to the North fans, still in the crowd to get him loud. You're starting to build up to a reason to be excited.
It's not bad at all, is it? 7-13. Kenny with the AWP, as you said. That in itself is a problem you have to solve. Now, Mr. O'Toole, what kind of tools can they use to get rid of Kenny and his tool?
Well, Anders, they can use, obviously, some flashbangs up middle just to force him back, because you know at some point he's going to want to take that peek down, just see if he can get a cheeky kill to start the round. So you can do 2 things. You either post up Cajun with his own AWP to watch for that angle, or you throw a pop flash just to force him back so you don't have to deal with it whatsoever. Their next answer is I don't know, because it's tough. Because Kenny likes to be mobile on this map. He likes to do it from the B bomb so that he can peek down mid. He even likes going into apartment to take a shot into alt mid. So sometimes it just gets lucky on kind of guessing of where he's going to be next. And this is beautiful from North. This is a great call.
MSL has but one flashbang to set up this. Look like a play out of apartments. They're sort of falling back.
That's unfortunate. I mean, obviously, they don't have the information we do, so they don't know that A defense is just 2 players there. The G2 not rotating anyone back yet. Just now starting to do it. Kenny's on his way. Looking like MSL and Cajun instead. This looks like they'd set up a fake if it's going to be anything. Maybe send 1 player, but return to the A bomb site.
It's very curious. We're not quite sure exactly what tipped them to walk out of there. Maybe there was just a smoke at the end of the hallway. They thought, no, we're not going to do this.
I think it's because that smoke comes up and they don't have any presence anywhere else on the map. So if they just wait for that smoke, G2 can get the idea. This is tough timing on the flashbang or smoke. Kenny's going to be blocked. Of course, he gets aggressive. There's, oh, the flick, it misses. He tries to adjust. He thought MSL was going to peek wider. It doesn't happen.
Still 2 men on the bomb site. Down in the pit is Shox. Now would be a good time to come alive. Apex coming in with a good kill, but oh, the pre-fire from Config. And he also took down Shox in pit. And MBK, they've already spotted him. They can go and hunt if they want. They've got the money certainly on pretty much everyone except for Cajun. Well, and he goes down first, so...
Well, they're going to salvage that AWP, you'd hope, right? If you're NBK, at this point, you know they're hunting for you because they know exactly where you are. I think you just get aggressive. I think you start going back towards the A bomb site. Obviously, got to be careful with the bomb range, but you go see if you can get any more kills, take any weapons out of their hands. Still, first challenge for North was getting control early on after losing the pistol, but then from there, the next one is Kenny S, and they've passed that with flying colors. 3 kills for Config. And G2, I feel G2, I don't know if I want to say they're shook, but they've taken 2 timeouts within the span of about 3-4 rounds. So they're worried.
Little thumbs up from Config, saying, yeah, I've got 24 kills. I'm doing all right. This is, I feel like we went away from this kind of Counter-Strike for a while where it was just sort of one person. It was very early on in Global Offensive. We had these teams and where it was either, you know, a Shox or a Kenny or a Guardian or someone, and they did most of the work, and everyone else was just supporting cast in that sort of one-man frag movie. But it's been a while, and I wouldn't say that North on the face of it is the sort of team that should be playing like this, but seems like Config has just decided that's how it's going to be.
Config just seems like the one guy who's never phased in any sort of situation, right? Never phased by the scoreline, never phased by playing a semifinal and a final within an hour of each other. He just doesn't ever get shook. So he just happens to always show up to these matches, which is obviously great to have, especially a player of his caliber, because you can see, yes, they had a terrible first half, but he's starting to carry them back into a comeback. So he's giving the rest of his team time to get into this game.
I like the little boost set up here. Wish they had a flashbang, but that's on Apex on the other side. Still, if you get a little bit too focused, tunnel vision on fighting NBK, might forget about the C set that's right underneath. They're going to be falling back after a little bit, and didn't look like he did any damage to North either, so they really don't want to get close to that. I would have stuck around, I think, if I was NBK. Just wait to see if they want to take that battle. Lure them into Shox.
Yeah, well, also you would have liked to have just peeked and got that 1 bullet headshot with the Deagle. That would have been cool as well. Regardless, North, I mean, they're still going to head towards that bomb site. Presence up towards A. They're just still searching for information of what kind of a stack they're going up against, if any. What kind of weaponry they're facing, and MSL's not seeing anything. So this is G2 playing very passive, giving up map control. Look at the read as well. Shox and Apex rotating just now. So is everybody. They're just going. This is a gamble. That smoke pulls all 4 of them back, though. Here's the fake, and it's not even really meant to be a fake. It's just presence. And MSL, he's going to get 2. Can he get a 3rd? Yeah, no. Just barely misses out on it, but he's done his job. He's opened up the B bomb site, and it's a good thing he did, because it wasn't easy for them either.
Well, they had a really tough time over at the other side of the map. Config and Cajun are low. It's a good angle for him to be holding, and tragically for G2, they just don't have the grenades to easily take this fight. Eventually, he's going to have to peek. He wants to bait it out. Cajun getting a good kill there. Looked like he was about to miss the chance. And now it's on Shox. No armor, no kit. And with one C set 75, it's going to have to be damn quick for this to get even close. And you can hear the bomb is already very far ticked.
He just wants Config to die. He wants that up. He does not want that to survive. That's his whole goal. He hears the footsteps. There's the peek, and he gets it. And now Cajun, it's too late in the round. Oh, if he saves this AWP, that is a godlike play.
That's so smart. Shocks showing that it isn't always just about the kills. That's a lot of money, $4,750 saved. And even worse, he can pass that off to Kenny next round.
Or if they had wanted to, that can be a double op setup. You never know if they want to switch into that. We've seen it happen in the past. That is quite nice play from Shocks, but they're not going to do double ops. It's just on Kenny at the moment, but I mean, this is a perfect buy. Another challenge for North as they make their comeback. You're starting to believe it's even more possible. We haven't seen a lot of aggression out of G2 on this side of the map. So North is feeling very confident, already taking over A halls. Minute and 35 left in the round, and they have all the map control they want. Kenny going for the timing. It's not going to land.
Good smoke there. Body. Not quite getting the shot. Great transfer. Cajun goes down after the one kill, and Kenny standing on the fire, but the AWP rings through, bringing down AC. And MSL comes through, but Apex is there to save his teammate. And that's a 14th round for G2. It looked like the confusion was about to wash away that A-bomb side, but right in the middle of it, they make it work.
Yeah, I was scared for Body because he's peering into the halls. He's spamming through the smoke. Doesn't see the players enter the site, but he recovers just in time. And you can see Kenny fearless with that AWP in his hands, just making plays inside the site. Really beautiful stuff. North almost catch a phenomenal timing. They've wanted to do that for some time. It seems like that's kind of been a plan they've wanted to go to over that A-bomb site, is get into position and this kind of explode at a timing you think G2 is unaware.
North getting the control of Banana without too much of a fight. Makes you wonder if G2 are going to try and retake it in the middle of the round, which is something I always love seeing from the CT side.
You don't really need to do that if you have Kenny S with an AWP there. I think he likes to play that so aggressively. Yeah, it's a very cool thing, and obviously it can be effective with the right flashbangs, but with Kenny, with the way he likes to play it, I mean, he's getting you information. You know exactly when players get to the top, when they get control of that brackets portion of mid. Yes, he gets smoked off and he loses it, but at least you have the timing.
Gonna be forced back. He actually falls really far back. There's a bit of damage done to Apex, who is playing over at that B corner. But North have Banana and mid control, so G2 are a bit in the blind right now. Stacked 3 people on B. This might be the move that wins them the map. And Kenny going to be walking in to a whole stack of North players. He misses the chance and back around the corner. But there are 3 players here, and the Danes don't know it. Great counter Molotov coming out, and North still pushing the issue. NBK on the corner, goes for the spray, but he gets taken down by MSL. And Kenny hiding inside of the smoke. He's got 1 kill with the Molotov, and that is not enough right now. It's been working out. The bomb is being planted, and the shots with the smoke are not connecting. Shocks goes down, and Kenny's in trouble. Valde gonna drop him, and now it's Body running for his life. North, that was a big round into a stack, and it still works.
Exactly. Game on, because North runs into 3 players. That is a brilliant read from G2, just a blind read. Kenny just takes 1 shot through the smoke in mid, and they call for him to rotate over just in case. Now, it's smart. He gets aggressive, because if he gets aggressive immediately when he gets to that B bomb site and finds nothing, he just runs all the way back towards A. But even when that hit comes in, running through the Molotov, G2 had all the advantages. NBK misses a spray. All of a sudden, North is in it. This is going to be a 10th round. The money is not great for the G2 side of things. Kenny's got 8,000, but across the board, it's beat up. Another decision to make if you're G2 on this defense.
It's getting to that point in the game where every round matters. Every rifle you can save, any kind of economic damage, it's all going to have a big impact. And Cajun starting to hit some of these shots as well. I think you're right, though. He's been looking just a bit shaky. It's not like he's doing badly on the scoreboard. He's got 13 kills, but...
Well, you could see there was a round in the first half when he's defending Rap side that he just missed a timing, got caught with a nade in his hand and taken out. He did that as well earlier in this half also. Gets caught with the nade, like not ready for someone to peek. So in that sense, he's just like, you start to feel like you're not quite in the game. You're not feeling or reading it very well. But yes, now these past few rounds, he's confidently taken some peeks, hit some shots with the AWPs, starting to get in the groove. And this is now a scary situation for G2. back onto pistols. All they've got is this M4, but I mean, should be said, we do like to see G2 take these rounds where they save up for the economy and wait for the higher percentage gun rounds to come in.
Yeah, they don't have a lot this time. A couple of smokes being deployed towards top banana, towards the middle. And North are fine, just waiting for it. Config gonna win the fight against Kenny. They have that one M4 on body, and he's clearing out the apartment with shocks. Maybe they can find Config and take this AK away from him. He's gonna miss the jump and goes back for it again. If he got caught then, that would have been good timing. Oh no, what are we seeing here?
He's just messing with them, looking to see if there's anything, if they're gonna push, if they're gonna shoot.
Well,
you're making noise that make it sound like you land in the window. See if they push, see if there's any kind of reaction, anything to the spam you're putting out. G2 just holding the fort down. Oh, there it is. You hate that if you're shocked. Now the body follow-up. Is Config going to be ready for that? He is, but can't win the fight. Nice reaction from Body, but Valdi now, it's his turn to pounce. Good trades all around. Still, advantage towards G2, and unfortunately, NBK was one of the only players without an upgraded pistol.
Yeah, you don't see this working out. If he had a C-set 75 in the back here, I'd say, yeah, probably he's going to take the shot and still win it against AC. MSL actually had his back turned for a while there. Now the question is, he's so far away, though. It takes 15 seconds or so to even run there, so without the defuse kit, it makes sense.
Again, I thought he was going to go for this because you're in a 1-on-2 and you've got armor and a rifle. You could make that happen, but I think one, without a kit, and then two, realizing that they just saved specifically for the next round to have a buy, and he can drop this M4 over to Apex, who's going to need a little bit of help with his purchase. So again, a smart decision in terms of the economy. But this has been great out of North. This is now 7 of the last 8 rounds go their way, all gun rounds.
About to head into the 26th round, so I'm going to ask you again, Mr. O'Toole, what kind of tools are they going to deploy to retool the defense on this G2 side? I'm working on that.
Yeah, that takes a bit of polishing. It's not your best work. We'll get there, though.
Yeezys with the CCs was better, I think.
Yeah, that was something else, wasn't it? I think maybe by like the 3rd overtime of map 3, you'll have figured something out.
Yeah, we'll get there, don't worry. AWP back on Kenny. It seems like we're just revisiting the same stuff. We haven't seen the double up out. We haven't seen even the pushes down middle that G2 sometimes do on this map.
That's the one thing where you could say, you know, a little bit more aggression at G2 would be nice, because you could see, look how confidently MSL's taking control of this. I mean, he's going through the motions of ensuring if there is aggression, which is great, but I mean, they've already taken banana control at 1.5 minutes. Earlier, they took apartment control at about this same time. G2, I mean, they weren't able to do this because, yes, they did beat North up on their own T side, but North at least had some presence to slow this kind of stuff down.
Definitely a bit annoying, and again, I just think when G2 make rotations, whether they stack A or B, you want that to be based on some sort of, you know, real info, not just a gut feeling that what's going to happen. And when you're pushed back from Arch and top banana, it's really difficult to have any information. Shox is sticking around at the edge, but he doesn't have any teammates with him there, although Apex is starting to rotate in, so the bomb is still at bottom mid, though. That makes me a bit worried for G2 if they stack 4 men on A.
Here's where you're going to get a pop flash. There it is. Shox throws it out. MSL's not blind. He does fall, but Config wins the fight. And meanwhile, Kenny S is getting aggression. There's that mid-aggression you like. It's not a full commit. Oh, what a shot. Kenny S takes out Valdi. Didn't even see it coming. And this is going to be G2 on 15 on opening map point. AZ, unless he can do it again. We saw him get a 1 versus 5 yesterday. Not this time.
Shutting him down. I feel like Kenny's one of the few opers in the world that actually almost would prefer many consecutive fights with almost no, like, you know, time interval between them. It seems like
he builds up into the battle.
Yeah, it's really impressive, isn't it? Because as soon as he gets the first shot, he's just ready for the one in the apartments, and it's so quick. Valda goes down, no chance at all. 15-11, and it's map point for G2 here. It took them a while in the second half, but now they're looking good.
But this is the tough part about playing Kenny S. I mentioned it earlier. He's so mobile. We saw him up, you know, on the other side, on the wrap side of mid. And then we saw him, you know, up there and then go to the B bomb site and take a shot. And this time, he's lane side, and he's actually deep into the bomb site initially. So there's so many different positions that he uses to get these kills. And if you're North, you can't really neutralize him with nades because you never know where he's going to be.
Bomb is over in apartments right now for the North team again. They've got all the control they want on the map, more or less. Maybe barring this archway here, where they would love to push Shocks back. But where are the kills going to come from North? So far, a lot of the openings have been at the hands of Config, so maybe just ask him to get a bit more, push him into overtime.
The classic Config go find some kills tactic coming out. He's in boiler with Cajun at the moment. Looking like they want to take over some control of mid. This is another round. You're going to see a pop flash peek at B for G2 because Shocks has rotated over. Here it comes. There's the peek. It's won by AZ. And Apex is out in the open. He wins the first. And NBK going to get aggressive behind it as well.
Yeah, but the AK here for AZ, that's a great triple. It's been about time, but Kenny has taken down Cajun on the other side. Now I was about to say, if they push into Kenny, that might have a very sad ending for North. G2.
Not moving.
Yeah, and I don't think they should. Traversing the map with that much time, imagine all the corners you have to check to make sure that there isn't someone hiding. I think that's the real problem.
Yes, and on Inferno, economy is king. We're seeing that here. Both teams making decision deep into their CT halves to save money. And neither team has been able to string gun rounds together, except for, I mean, North towards the end, but G2 is in that same predicament.
A good 10 rounds ago, Moses, you brought up this point that if you're AC and you're having a bad game, and I think he has 0 kills in the first 9 rounds or something like that, you know, you can always sort of look forward to maybe having a couple of impactful rounds where you change the outcome. This time, triple at top banana as they push into him is, I mean, that wins the round almost immediately.
And it might even win you 2 rounds in the grand scheme of things if you're going to look at this next one and say AWP in the hands of Kenny, AK on body. If they don't buy here, that's an easier round to go up against, and you could just, this could be a, you know, a 2-round play out of AZ. So yeah, that's exactly it. And this will start to make you feel better as well. Good stuff from AZ. G2 continuing a lot of aggression, but it's not going to be an easier round as G2 is going to buy into it. So they're not done just yet. Op, AK on Shocks, M4 on body, UMP and Famous otherwise, and they've got good utility. They've got 3 kits. 15-12, and now Kenny wants to take over this game. There's the battle, and he wins it. Right over the flames. That's the new look, and he's got to fall away from this. That might be too much, but knowing all the pathing even while blind.
So rare these days that we see that peek from the CT side down middle. Very risky, and he didn't have anyone with him even to cover second mid, so a lot of things could have been dangerous there. But a beautiful opening out of the French star sniper. Now we've got the 28th round, in action, and still more than a minute left, but it seems like maybe they're going to try and put a bit of pressure on the arch side this time.
Why not? They tried it only once, and actually they beat Kenny S the first time he had native peers. This exact play, actually, it was MSL who took Kenny out. We'll see if he shoulder peeks it again. Kenny at the time was getting aggressive. This time he's farther back, and he's not going to make that same play again. It was everything identical to this deja vu, except, oh, there it is, the shoulder peek. They're going to hunt him down. They don't want him to get away, and he does, just barely. Apex is here for the backup. Great teamwork from G2. That's the bomb in CT spawn. That could be the first map.
It looks like it might be. Valdez coming out, but not checking the corner, and Shocks is going to drop him. AC with 16 health and missing the chance. 20 seconds. If they don't fight, they win, and Apex will take him down 16-12 as G2 take down North on map number 1 of the grand finals. It was getting very scary towards the end there for the French, I feel like, but some good timeouts.
Yeah.
A little bit of an adjustment, a little bit more aggression, and it works out.
And there's only so long you can keep Kenny quiet on that AWP. I think that was the big difference towards the end. You started seeing him get, you know, his 1, maybe his 2 kills per round. His openings, obviously on Cajun right there at the end, was beautiful. And they did everything they possibly could to make that comeback happen. And I think there had to have been some people in this crowd, some North fans, starting to believe. Were you? Were you starting to believe, Anders?
Maybe. I'm not gonna voice an opinion just yet. Keep everyone in the dark. I mean, this was this looked like it was going to be almost sort of a bit of an uneventful first map with G2 just sort of taking it away. Yep. So I'm impressed. I'm also worried because much of that comeback was just based on Config being a beast. So what happens if that doesn't happen next time? You know, they need the rest of the team, obviously. We do have a whole lineup of people ready to talk about all of this and more over at the desk. So Alex, love to know what you have to say about this game.
Thank you, Anders and Jason. We'll be seeing more of you guys into that second map. And you may want to know what I have to say. I think I want to know what these fellows joining me at the desk have to say, as we're going to be talking all about how that first map did play out. An 11-4 T-side, G2 off to a flying start onto their map pick, and then some of their defensive woes start to show up. And Config, believe it or not, I'm bored of saying his name now because we did it in the pre-match. We're going to be saying it in the post-match as well, Yenko.
Yeah, how about giving him some help? He had to do a lot of it by himself. I think G2, this is another example of them and their win conditions applying. You know, they get off to a good start, control of the economy. But what was really impressive about G2 in this game is that they had a slower pace than what we usually see. You know, they were running down the clock, waiting for North to use all of their utility. We saw how they were able to adapt to aggressive moves from North, them going for map control, going for that, you know, deep banana push and so forth. So all in all, it was a really well executed T-side from G2.
You said the win conditions were good for G2. The conditions I highlighted for why I thought North were going to win, none of them came true. That transitional defense in Banana was getting picked off. They weren't having any success with that MSL and Config getting beaten down in that part of the map. Kenny with the AWP on the T side being fantastic, where I said he had a very lackluster game previously. So those two things were definitely in the favor for G2 there and contributed a lot. Kenny went +10, and then on the other side of things, Config went +14 with the next closest as -4.
Yeah. Bit of a rough
somewhere
job
at the bottom.
Yeah, no, he had a bit of a backpack there that was a tiny bit too tough to carry for at least the first map. But the thing that impressed me the most really with G2 in that scenario is it leads into what Yenko was talking about. It's just how they actually deal with knowing that your opponent is on low econ buys, or not necessarily the greatest one. So with the slow pace, they know that they're going to expend utility on the side of North very early on, and you can see them taking full advantage of it because they know that North's approach to it is not necessarily, or they notice that they don't necessarily go aggressive to find information off of the back of, you know, just a solo guy running out by himself. What we saw, you know, in the semifinals is that if North want to find information somewhere, they're going to flash for each other. They're going to make sure that they do things by committee, and if they don't have utility, they can't do that. So they fall back to the site, rely on crossfires, and that's something that G2 took full advantage of when you saw them. And whenever they moved towards that A bomb site, a ton of their success with the fact that, like Jason mentioned during the broadcast, the fact that they immediately show up on site with their smokes, because Apex has already walked right up by the hayball or haystack, and the second that smoke deploys on site, he's already got the angle for deep pit. And
there's no warning.
Exactly, and it also cuts off the crossfire that North has been using religiously throughout the tournament. Yeah. And at that point, it comes down to whether or not, you know, your one solo guy in pit can actually get multi-frags, and AZ was having a super rough time to start that game off. I think the first 10 rounds, he had 1 assist, and that was it.
That's what that's resonating with you, Chad.
They exploited the tendencies, right? The way that we, the things that we looked at North doing well was that crossfire and being and transitioning back to that, and then being very proficient at getting those frags. In this scenario, it looked like G2, NK, Smiths, they had done their homework. They knew exactly where those players were going to be time and time again, isolated them. They weren't even getting any trades, any kills, which is something that North was doing much better previously.
And it's exactly what you were talking about. You talked about, you know, the fact that North were on the grind. You know, they had less time to prepare for that grand final, perhaps relevant, as you can see, evidence of their homework on that first map. G2 do take it. We'll bring up the stats just quickly so you can dissect exactly where the problems may have lay. Consistent from G2, which is nice to see. You know, the usual suspects, your Apex, your Shocks, and your Kenny, perhaps just a little bit above the rest. On the other side of things, yes, the discrepancy is a whole lot more identifiable. We talked all about how North were a succinct unit, Valda perhaps uniting them, and we were seeing exactly how, yeah, sure, Unleash Config, but there's a team behind them. We didn't quite get to see that team behind him on Inferno. The next map, however, Yenko, is where I want to take this next. We have just a couple of minutes to kind of set the scene for map 2. I believe we're going to Cobblestone, North's pick.
I think the way Inferno ended is great for North, right? They managed to put some rounds on the board. G2 really had to fight to close out that game, because if North just loses, you know, 16-6, 16-7, then G2 is booming with confidence. You go into Cobble, if G2 starts on the T side, you know, they can just snowball out of control. I feel for North on Cobblestone, it would be much better for them if they can win that knife round and start on the T side, because that's when they get to dictate the pace of the game. They are the ones making the plays, and we saw how good they can be on that T side.
And actually, it sounds like, you know, we're going to be raring up the schedule so quickly. Yes and no's. Do we get to see a third? Do North win their map pick? Starting with you, Chaddy.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I would like a whole 3 maps for this grand final, and we'll find out if we do get it with your casters and with the Counter-Strike, which is coming up after a very short break. So stay tuned, and we'll see if North can win back on Cobble.
It's what you've been waiting for. These guys are on top of the world, and it's all done. Astralis winning. IEM champions. They want the trophy, and they've got it. NIP.
Looks like a digital video game for the iPhone, Android, and iPad. It's called Pocket Mortys. Look at all these little Mortys that you get to run around and collect. Mustache Morty, cat Morty, one eyeball Morty. This just seems really cruel. I mean, come on. What are you doing? It's free. It's a free game. It's not pay to win either. It's Pocket Mortys. Get over here and pick it up. It's a free game.
Win.sliver.tv. As you watch CSGO, you'll earn free coins. Pick the team you think will win and boost your bet. Earn more coins by answering trivia. Bet correctly to get raffle tickets. Win awesome prizes like CSGO skins, virtual reality headsets, and more. Play now at win.sliver.tv.
Hello everybody and welcome to Backstage here at DreamHack Masters Malmö 2017. I'm stood next to two of our superfan winners from our online competition. Welcome.
Thank you
what
very
do you
much.
think?
It's amazing. It's awesome to be backstage. Thank you very much for having us. So I'm Khan. I have been playing CS since I was about 9 years old.
I'm Jenny. Become a fan through this guy.
Why don't I take you on our little backstage tour?
Awesome.
Let's do it. The main man over here, one of the best admins in Counter-Strike mod.
Get down now, get down now, get down now, bring it down now.
I keep track of the games when it's live.
Does his best.
Can you see what the players are doing on their computer, like keyboard-wise or anything of the sort?
No, not really. But the pieces itself is locked down. They don't have any internet or anything.
This is a view that not many fans get to see, but it's the view from the stage into the arena itself.
I'm trying to think of what it would be like to be a player for the first time, walking out here, like, you know, how Draken and Rez are feeling, especially in front of a Swedish crowd. Just, this is insane. I would be terrified.
And the atmosphere is amazing, though. So
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we have one light on us right now. When you're on that stage, you've got hundreds, like many lights on you, so like the stress levels and the pressure on you is even higher. What we'll do now is head to the other side of production and see exactly how the stage is managed. Let's go. Look at this, everyone's looking at you right now. They're like, who's this guy? Yeah.
This is love. If this is love, feel your tears in the rain. Now we're on again. I pray that you will shelter me. I will fight in your memory.
Their free-flowing style can put them atop the CSGO world again. Welcome on stage, G2 Esports. Their free-flowing style can put them atop the CSGO world again. Welcome on stage, G2 Esports. And the players. Shots. Body. NBK. Apex. Kenny S. And their coach, Smith. And their coach. Nothing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Northern G2 for the DreamHack Masters Grand Final, and we are almost ready with map number 2. Feel good, Moses. That turned out to a very, very good map towards the end. Very interesting, but G2, they ran away with it.
Yes, they did, and that was so exciting. I'm pumped to see. I think North has had enough time now to get into this game. I think we're going to see a completely different North than we saw in Inferno, and definitely not at the start. But I mean, even so, like, Config is just probably the most exciting player in that server. It was absolutely crazy. Also, you saw Kenny S lighting up the scoreboard, lighting up the kill feed towards the end of Inferno. This map's much more open. This map is much more friendly to oppers.
It is. That's the thing you have to worry about if you're a North fan. Obviously, the idea that Kenny could completely run amok. But on the other side, if anyone steps up and wants to help Config out, that might be a good sign for North.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think he'd much appreciate that. Valdi's a good candidate for that. We know he's got a lot of skill, but obviously someone you're going to need. AZ, we mentioned a lot of him on Inferno, having a very slow start individually. But then, I mean, you really have to look across the board on this North team and say that same thing for pretty much everyone, because Cajun's going to be the one that decides the duels against Kenny S. He's going to be someone who's going to have to lock him down, because Kenny, even if he gets that first kill, Cajun, you have to expect, is going to be holding for the repeak. And we saw Kenny win that battle on Inferno a couple times.
Well, here it comes. Make some noise. G2 and North, and map number 2. We have a very common split coming out. AC, though, 3 men coming right at him, and Kenny jumping like a madman, still going down, and now Config looked like he almost got caught in the corner. He's got a USP in hand, and MSL gets 1 kill. Config with a headshot, almost out of bullets, but fading back behind the wall. Explain that to me, Moses.
There it is. It's beautiful stuff. Tapping away, not committing to any of the fights. We saw what G2 did with the Glocks at the beginning of Inferno. They destroyed everyone so quickly. This time, AZ stays alive a little bit longer, but Config gets great positioning. They aren't expecting it whatsoever. Just making sure that he always is quick to get back into cover.
All those 3 kills at long seem to be very dirty kills. I thought for sure AC would have gone down. It's a good job, Kenny, just trying to make himself hard to kill. But this round, not so easy to play on the T side, even if you have C-sets here. The range is just so far for these rifles to work, and North are taking this very seriously. They have 1 UMP.
Right, and even if you do get the kills, you know, a couple kills maybe pushed up, there's no utility on the G2 side. There's 1 smoke, so I mean, you got to run the gauntlet into a bomb site. You have a lot of range, a lot of ground you have to cover on the T side to even just get into the zone to plant. And yes, you could see with all these rifles, Valdi keeping his distance, pretty much everyone keeping their distance. Even MSL is playing outside of drop zone. It is a heavy lean towards the A bomb site, so if MSL goes down, there's a chance that Valdi could have enough pressure applied to him.
It's going to be really tricky, isn't it? They do get the timing down walking out, but good counter flash, and he's safe in that corner. He knows they're not going to have a Molotov to clear him out. MSL coming in with a great utility helping out. Does flash himself, but ultimately Valde and MSL to combine for a couple of great kills, and only Cajun went down. So I would say par for the course in a round like this if you're North. This is what the round should look like.
Yeah, phenomenal. And that's what we want to see, because one of the things that's propelled North to this grand finals in this tournament has been the teamwork between 2 players. It's just been, you know, the small unit teamwork of juggling the aggression. MSL and Valdi do a great job of that. The flashbangs for each other, and they hold B platform very well against, yes, just pistols, but those can be tricky. We've seen it happen. Cajun's going to be on just a USP in this round, not buying up for the AWP in the next round. But it's just Glocks, no armor. So North, this is already completely different from Inferno. They should be out to a quick 3-0.
Yeah, they don't look too scared either. I like the idea that they're playing a bit aggressively in middle and long like that. Just, you know, showing themselves. Also, I think just proving to themselves that they're not, you know, that scared of G2.
I've always wondered if there's anything going into the thoughts of an in-game leader or a coach, maybe if someone has a bad game in the first map of a series, do you test them early on the second map as well? Do you kind of go at them? So I'm wondering if we'll see that at a G2, if maybe the first few rifle rounds they already know AZ plays in these A halls. Maybe you go to that A bomb site a little early on just to see what he's got.
Kenny's going to find him with a Glock, so could be an interesting theory, maybe something that we can interview someone and find out later. Config obviously going to be close here. A little bit of a grenade. An impressive kill from Kenny, and that's super important. Again, in terms of getting that AWP later. A couple of kills like that, one of them with the UMP. Going to help him out. That's 3 in the back for North. But a bit of a bump in the road in this round.
We'll see what G2 is going to come out with. Kenny, you're exactly right. That bonus from the SMG is going to help propel him to an AWP. He can even get head armor behind it, so he's going to be very happy with that, considering the second round buy that they had. All AKs across the board, and we have a double up setup right in the opening round from North. Config has one, Cajun has the other. Will it catch them off guard? Config's playing long this round, and he's just holding an angle, a little bit passive. Cajun towards the B bomb site. Just standard stuff out of this North defense.
It's not a bad grenade on Shocks and Body. It's actually quite far back from Valde. Shock's being pushed up like this, and Valde gonna try and push him. They know that he's up there. Cajun's gotta be worried. Flashes in, and Kenny gonna win the fight against Config. And they probably know that AC somewhere here. Gonna go for the peek, and Kenny again with a refrag. So well timed, throws the AWP over the side to make sure that no one can pick it up. And now there is only one man on the site, and that's MSL. The last couple of North players are far away, and Kenny's ready and waiting. A bit of a shoulder peek coming in. That's actually very smart from MSL. At least knows that Kenny's still going to be here. Valde out in the open. Could take it taken down. MSL would have to be an absolute hero to save this round. He's going to get the one kill on Kenny. It is a start and trying to fall back, but they're everywhere on this bomb site. And just looking to take him down. A bit of a rotation has happened as well, and MSL with a headshot taking down one. Shox finally going to cancel him out, and a stunning headshot. Shox taking down Cajun, who had the angle.
He did. It looked like he might have unscoped, but that's great. It's a little bit of pathing issues for North on the rotation over. And the great thing about it is that play from Kenny. He gets those 2 kills, gets up towards the end. Even though he's holding that angle and MSL baits out the shot, that doesn't tell North anything. They don't know how many players are actually doing it. They're saying, all right, Kenny got 2 kills. He's only here because he knows he has the space. They don't actually know if the hit's impending, and that causes Valde to take the rotation through the double doors. That was a bit of a mistake. He was the closest reinforcements, and he gets taken down. Brilliant from Kenny, and there's Shock spamming right through. That's how Inferno began.
Very upsetting. Grenade doesn't really do enough to NBK. And they're still stuck in that very confined space here at Danger. We've got to be very careful. Spot out the gun barrel of Body, and they're going to try and make their way back, but sort of falling back like this when they're already over long can be very dangerous. Nice improvised boost, but not good enough. Config has gone down, and AZ's trapped, and they know where he is, and they've got the grenades. UMP in a corner. I don't see this working out. Body with a good kill. And do they realize? They know. Great communication, because I don't think Apex saw that. That must have been from the middle, so a great call coming out from G2, leaving MSL to try and pick up the AK and make a run for it.
This has been a sick round from G2. Really, really nice. Obviously, that boost that North pulls out, it's pretty tricky. It almost catches him off guard, but once you see that boost, you know there's a second player on the ramp. That's why you see that flashbang come in so nicely timed. MSL, I don't think he's going to be able to get away with this one, although G2 isn't committing to the hunt. Body's waiting for the smoke to fade before he pushes in through connector. Shox just has him boxed in. And if Shox dies here, there's an escape route for MSL, and there's the crouch peek. Very, very committed. Still some ways to go, but he's going to get there.
Yeah, back around the corner, and nobody's close enough by to catch MSL here, so unless he keeps running into T-spawn, maybe. The IMBK stopped on the other side. So, saving an AK, that's the silver lining, but really, the story of that round, obviously G2, and just winning some of those early fights again.
Yes, they're attacking the A bomb site specifically, right? That's the first 2 gun rounds we've seen go towards that A site, and they've really exploited it, so it'll be interesting to see how North responds to that, because obviously you can't leave B weakened for too long.
No, typically the bomb site that's hard to hold on this map for any new viewers is actually the B bomb site. So if G2 switch their focus into that, be interesting to see what North can do. They do have a 4-man stack, so only MSL on the other side.
You even saw some cool things over at B for G2, though. When they were holding passively on that default, MSL throws the deep smoke so they can get aggressive up the broken wall. And as soon as they see that smoke fly over, G2 just drops a Molotov. So if he jumps up, he's jumping into flames. And that really prevents them from taking too much damage or losing too much of the map from such an aggressive play. There's a stack at this B bomb site behind the fountain. It's going to be Config boosting MSL. Oh, no, I thought it would have been the AK. It's the other way around. So Config is here.
Yeah, USP stack just doesn't sound that dangerous.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Kenny was certainly ready for that boost. Config goes down. They know what's up. Valde's gone next, and the whole bomb site completely cleared out here. Shox making absolutely sure anybody in there, chickens or humans, they're going to be gone.
And MSL's pretty close, hoping for, I guess, 1 kill, but he's got to be careful that he's still able to get away afterwards. This AK would still be very nice to bring into the next round. This is the bomb site where it's going to get really scary. We've obviously seen Kenny be so effective over in A-halls, but if you really get him to be able to swing wide and have the space on this B platform, peek towards the bomb site, peek towards chicken coop, towards the double doors, that's where he's going to get deadly. It's so much open space. Hiding in plain sight as well, MSL, I guess you put it.
Yeah, he's done a very good job so far. He's got a lot of kills. 9-1 is the scoreline, right? He's only died the one time, so, I mean, that's something going right. We sort of expect that later on Config is going to be joining him for a lot of kills. He's got 5 so far, so it's not too bad, but could be more on the line here. Score is tied up at 3-3. Investment into the AWP for Cajun. And Config not going to go with 1. That's fine, but G2, they're back on track.
They tried it. Remember, that was where Config was pushed up in those A-halls, and it was a flashbang over the wall and a quick Kenny peek. Took him out of the action real early on, so maybe he just doesn't want to mess with Kenny with the ops. Presence again for North in the A-halls, and this might be their response to how much has been put on there, but G2 circumventing it. Very fast pace towards B platform. Shox has the angle towards Cajun. Didn't win the fight initially, though, and they're just going to give it up. They don't want to be around for the barrage of nades and flashbangs and Molotovs that are going to come in, but the nice thing for them is that it actually takes a lot of counter utility away from the defense. Look at the nades they have to work with.
Valde getting close here. Body with a great crouch, winning the fight with the Galil. AC with 1 in return. Just dropped Apex. So 4 on a 4, which will still favor G2. It's a bit of a shame that NBK only has the Mac 10, but maybe he could come exploding out. Cajun, you see how uncomfortable he is here. Looking at both the angles, it's definitely not easy. Flashes in, but good shot with the AWP. He has to do a bit more. It's not done yet. MSL to help him out, dropping NBK, who is coming out, and MSL with another headshot. This is not the player you're normally looking for to put all these kills on the board, but I think they'll take it anyway. Now, they just have to leave Kenny alone. 40 seconds. He's such an incredible player. You don't want to give him the chance here. Molotov goes a bit to the side. Cajun can still stand his ground. Looks like Kenny's going to be falling back. So, a round for North here, and actually MSL. Have we checked him?
No, we mentioned yesterday this is probably the most switched on he's seemed in some time. But still, great job by Cajun. Yeah.
Would you go so far as to call this the MSL era, Moses?
I think.
Can I get those words out of your mouth?
That's a you thing that you've been saying all day long.
Oh man.
We already had one of those, a full weekend of it.
We had a whole weekend, yes. 4-3. I think North are going to be quite happy if they can get up to 7-ish rounds on the first half here. Should be comfortable for them. If they win the next one, though, G2 definitely won't be happy. That's most of their economy gone, so need to keep fighting here.
And North is looking to put a stop to these kinds of A plays, and this is where you should do it. You have 3 players here on the defense. AZ, Config, and MSL. Apex spamming through, just a little bit luckier, and he might be able to take down Config. Walking down the stairs among a hail of bullets. It's always awkward if the smoke fades. Who's going to win it? This time it's going to be Config, although AZ was spotted out, so Apex calls out 2 players here. Next up is Kenny. There's the shot. Config tries to bounce. Oh, the no-scope is a leg. That's unfortunate. Kenny almost had it, and they've spotted a 2nd player in the smoke, and again, Config has to dodge bullets to fall back. Close calls all around, but North is aware of everything.
Well then, you want to say that they're definitely going to win this 2 versus 4, but there's an alternate timeline out there, Moses, where Kenny gets that kill and they just collapse on the last player on long. That was very close. Closer than maybe it seems. Config, though, still playing aggressive with 15 health down at the bottom of ramp. There's only 20 seconds left, so MBK and Body, maybe they could do some damage. The shadow showing. You see MSL pre-firing it. Getting that kill. Body's taking down Config. Finally, he falls, but 10 seconds. Can they find the AWP? There it is, Body. That is a wise decision. Gonna have to fall back. 13-1 on MSL.
That's not bad, is it? No, we mentioned, and I think the Dust did as well, you need someone else to step up next to him, and why not have it be MSL? Anyone, really, and taking some of the weight off Config's shoulders, you could see how much it helps. 5-3, 2 rounds in a row on the gun rounds that they've won. That was something they couldn't do on Inferno, the string rounds together. And now passing over the AWP to Kenny. This is going to be a buy-up from G2. Not fully invested. Kenny still got 1,400. Body and Shox, 500, 900 still in the bank after this purchase, but a lot of faith in Kenny with the AWP to get something.
He's controlling that whole yard out on the A side. And that's a good kill again. MSL going to win the fight, but Apex is there, revenging NBK with a CSAT 75. He does drop down to 2. Cajun hiding by the chicken coop. The thing is, they do have the Molotovs to burn him out, so if he misses a couple of shots from back there, could punish him really heavily. They could also punish Valda for being in that corner, so I think there's a way for G2 to win this round. They just need a couple of good grenades to start it off with. Valda gonna put one into the drop. That's at least gonna buy some time, but Kenny is there to take him down regardless. And they're gonna do the counter boost out. They realize AC's gonna be there. Grenade. Oh, did he just shoot at the grenade?
I think he tried to shoot it, maybe knock it away, but didn't work. Cool idea. Cajun again with the op, though. He's been effective here in the past. Smoke's gonna block his vision. Still, just one shot in survival would be great, and he hits it blind. I think he sees the legs as they come through the smoke.
That's not bad at all here for Cajun. He's got AC on the other side. He's a bit paranoid about that drop position. Almost being forced out here with the Molotov, but Shox goes down. AC with an important kill. Double in the round for him. And now Kenny sneaking onto the side, missing a chance once. He's only got 23 seconds. Gonna be running right back into Config. And that is a massive string of rounds here for North. 6-3. Timeout has been called for G2. There's a different feeling in the air in this round for North, isn't there, on this map?
There is. This is phenomenal out of North. They're going to be very happy with this one. I'll tell you what, it's the Riflers. It is the scoreline of MSL. It is guys like AZ who are winning this map so far for them, because you could see Cajun, when he takes one shot at that pillar or at the statue, he doesn't want to peek again. He knows Kenny's entire job is just, even if his teammate falls, just grab the angle and just punish the repeek, and Cajun's not giving it to him. And the issue is, if Cajun's Riflers fall around him, he has to repeak. He's got to do something, but because they're so effective, because MSL's gotten a double, a triple kill in defending them and preventing them from getting to the site and pressuring Cajun, Cajun can just hide there, just wait out the time. He can be very safe and comfortable behind that statue.
Moses, whatever happened to the good old Suka Rush B tactic? Where does that come out from G2? We need that right now, I feel like.
I guarantee we'll get that. Some round, we will find it.
I am waiting for it. It has, I think, a pretty high success rate, because what you really just need is the one first kill. And if there are only 3 men on the bomb side, you kill the first, then good chance it just collapses right away. I think it's worth the investment to do it at least once or twice in the first 15 rounds.
Yeah, why not? Heaven forbid they find the timing where North is playing 3 players out towards A. This is a bit dicey for Config. He gets taken out, but AZ's there for the cover. Oh, what a transfer over to NBK. Instant headshot. Body's entire goal here with the AWP. One more kill. Do the economic damage. Force one more rebuy. Force a drop of a weapon. Or you could just throw away the AWP. Make sure that if they want to have the double op setup, they can rebuy it. But he's going to go for the win. It's a nice shot on Cajun. Both ops down.
MSL hiding by the cannon in the corner. It's a hard position to check, because when you get up to that corner, there are a lot of other places you'd rather be looking.
I'm telling you, I think you should throw the op away, pick up the rifle, and go from there.
Let's see what he does. He doesn't have any armor, so maybe he doesn't want to fight any kind of extended spray fight.
No, but the percentage of winning this is still pretty low, considering all the corners he has to check. Keep the op out, make them invest the money, because the double op is very expensive. We know that.
Just imagine if he Molotovs the cannon corner instead. Body turning his back, and he's going to be jumping up. Doesn't look like he's aware, and MSL will get the kill. Still, that's an incredible effort from Body. Yeah. And you have to appreciate that that round might have been lost if AC hadn't got that unbelievable, all gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, could have been a 2v2. Could have been a further danger for North, but still, they have to invest a lot of money back into this, and you have another big buy out of G2. They need to figure out a way to flush Cajun out of that site, and I think the answer would have to be, yeah, you could put Kenny on the platform with the op and maybe have someone with them, but maybe put 2-3 down drop to be coming out to force Cajun into the opening. They just haven't had success in drop. They've got some players down it at times, but no real progress after that.
Shox is taking a bit of damage over at the plateau. And Apex was having a strange fight with Config through the wall, but ultimately nobody's really connecting. So they're all set up. This boost onto the box is very effective if they forget to throw a Molotov. You can easily land a Molotov on that box, and then Vald is actually in trouble, because then he's falling off as they're coming in. If they forget about it, though, it's a very powerful position. And he's actually got it cornered towards the drop instead. This could get interesting. Another Molotov being put in, trying to buy a bit more time here. It's looking like a crunch on that B-bomb site. Now they've given it away. That one shot with the AK, a definite giveaway. MSL winning the first fight, almost getting the second. That's damn close. Valde goes down after a quick trade, but that drops the bomb, and now some trouble here. NBK has picked up a double kill, and Cajun's gonna go down. Big kill coming in from Kenny S. And Config, is he gonna find the bomb? It's right there, and he can't actually stop NBK from taking it down. Looked like a couple of shots could have hit then, but he's completely smoked out, and they shouldn't give him any way back in this round.
No, they shouldn't, and also the money on North is gone, so Config's got to save. But that's what I'm talking about from G2. Get the rifles down, drop, and you could see MSL falls, Valde falls on top of the boost on the tree. That's the riflers that are meant to protect Cage and be gone, and then he's forced into that peak on the left side of Statue, and Kenny knows it. He's just holding the angle. So that's perfect. That's exactly what G2 had to adjust, and they find a way to make their way into the bomb site. That's a big round. It's going to be their fourth. And I mean, you said 7 was the magic number for North. At 7-3, you're looking to add still more rounds, 2 to 3 more. It might get tough because they're going to be put into some economic woes. But obviously, after Inferno, this is an ideal half out of North. Although still, you have to say, to a certain degree, this is kind of a one-man army effort, except it's MSL this time instead of Config.
It is, and we also have to just accept the idea that if G2 get off to a good start on the second half, and they get double AWP, Shox and Kenny on either side of the map, it's not like that's going to be easy to break either when you're North. So I'd say they're putting in a strong foundation right now, but could be more to come. A couple of UMPs for Master at M4 and the saved AWP on Cajun, who has not had much luck over at this side. I think he's got 3 kills so far in the first 11 rounds, and this time, instead of waiting around, might want to challenge Kenny, but that's a mistake. Kenny takes him down. And the immediate Molotov follow-up. Valde trying to get into the broken wall. Actually makes the jump pass. That's very aggressive.
For as well prepared as North has been throughout these games of this event, that flashbang, I think it was a little bit off for not how they designed it, because Kenny didn't get blind whatsoever. Shox was blind behind the wall, but that's not the person they were aiming for. So Cajun punished, trying to be aggressive, trying to make up for the lack of the arsenal. And it's MSL who picks it up. He's had a great game with the rifle. We'll see if he's got any game with the AWP.
I mean, the flick onto Shox here when the peak comes in is going to have to be very quick. Shox has had a pretty good advantage. And now Kenny's here as well. I'd be surprised if Valde doesn't get Molotov out of the corner, though. Smoke could actually be timely. That's not bad at all. Putting pressure on Shox, and he decides to run through. Valde, easy kill there. That's very good timing, and MSL missing the one chance. Gonna get another, not quite. Valde has taken down Kenny, though. The 2 versus 3, and the bomb is being planted. Headshot from Apex, leaving AC in a 1-on-3 here. With the UMP, I mean, could linger around and try and get maybe an exit or 2, but retaking is not easy.
Here's where the tough part for North on this defense. G2's found the opening. North is playing, you know, outside of drop zone. They're not actually challenging for it, so they're giving up control of that, and they're just trying to contain the G2 players inside of it, kill them as they exit, and that's not working. This is where G2 has altered their attack. That's no longer the main thrust of the attack coming from platform. It's coming from drop zone, so you have to apply a little bit more attention there if you're North, or else you're just going to keep getting beaten this half, and now it's that economic struggle. They bought into that round. They bought the 2 UMPs, the FAMAs to go next to the AWP, and nothing worked out for them. They're going to have to sit one out with just USPs. G2 back into this game after taking a timeout.
Gotta be worrying if you're North right now. They did get beat up a lot on Inferno. Once the French got started, it seemed like they were almost impossible, and eventually were impossible to stop. It's a good flick there. Apex looking to capitalize with a MAC-10, but gonna get shut down, and they are hunting Kenny as well. Can they get anything done with the AWP? Cajun taking NBK. Oh my God, what's happening here?
It's all right. I mean, G2, they still, I don't even think that North is necessarily going to go for this. I think they're just going to save these 2 weapons, but I like that call from NBK. They still, I mean, they're in a 2-on-2, but go for it, because you know their economy's low, you know you've finally broken it. You want to keep that AWP out of his hands. You want to make sure they're buying those weapons if they really want to use them. Actually, Cajun is getting close by. No armor, no kits. Him and AZ going to try and crunch this bomb site from 2 different angles. It's got to be AZ taking lead, and Cajun just bailing out if his teammate falls.
Cajun wants one good shot here, and it has to be really quick. I mean, if he can walk in and immediately take the shot, then it's probably worth it. But as soon as he realizes that it isn't there, he's not going to force it.
I mean, they just got close enough to see if someone from G2 is going to make a mistake and peek and then go for something and they catch him off guard, then it's a 2-on-1, then you go for it. But yeah, nothing doing here. So dangerous, but North is going to be happy. I think this is going to give them... I'm not sure if they would have bought in this round regardless. They probably would have. Everyone's sitting right around the mid 4,500-ish mark, right around there, give or take 200. So they probably would have bought anyway, but this gives them an AWP and an AK. It gives them 2 players with massive amounts of utility. So great find in this round for North.
What is the solution to that? Burns to every team that plays the CT side on this map. And
drop.
Yeah.
There's no good answer, is there? It's so difficult to play. I mean, you can pull all the Counter-Strike pros and ask them what's the most difficult spot on across all maps to play, and I would imagine that drop zone on Cobble is going to get the majority of the votes. No one likes playing it. I mean, with the game that MSL's having, you could probably be pretty confident. I think you buddy him up. I think you keep Cajun with the AWP. I think you put MSL and maybe the A rotator together to kind of try and double team that, to try and have some of the nades, challenge some of those fights on top.
We're going to find out now. Game has resumed. It was a tactical timeout for North, so maybe they were having a similar discussion. The scoreline is 7-6, favoring the Danish side. Good counter grenades coming out. Looked like maybe there was a rush about to come in here for G2. We were discussing that earlier. It is still really powerful, and now they're down the broken wall. Cajun gets one, Valde with a great double spray, and Cajun again taking Kenny down. Shots is going to fall. That is a nice hold. No one goes down. And G2, is that the sort of round you called because of the North timeout?
No, it could be, but I also, in my head, what I'm thinking is it's a good thing that I'm not, North's in-game leader, because I think G2 is doing that call to counter the fact that they've had so much success in drop, maybe believing that North is going to apply a bit more pressure there on the defense, and you just blow up 5 players through the smoke, because if Valde's not underneath and you don't have MSL with that kind of a crossfire from his position, that's probably a round loss. But yes, I mean, it could be either one. It could be that, what I just said. It could also be out of the timeout. You just try and catch him off guard doing something fancy. And now G2 for the last round going to go back to this A, and that's a great flick from Config. He needs more. Not going to get it. Missing the second shot on Apex. Doesn't let go of the trigger.
And it's surprising to me that AC isn't nearby to help him out. Holding close in that corner with the AWP seems like something only a madman would do. But it is Config, so...
He's definitely mad.
Might be part of the explanation right there. 15th round, the last of the half here. And North has done a fairly good job, but they would love the 9th round. Again, they're a whole map down, so the pressure is on them to perform here. Shadow's going to show, and again, AZ, that's a really great pre-fire. Taking down one, and MSL winning the fight in middle. Not against Shocks, though, so still a 2-on-2. They've got plenty of time here, G2. Don't need to panic just yet. Valde holding one diagonal line across the bomb site, while Cajun is rotating in with the AWP down towards the door as well. And G2 are wondering, is it worth it to just fall back?
It could be.
Kenny.
It's the timer that matters, is when do you think they're going to rotate over to the other site?
It's 20 seconds, so now they're pretty much committed. Bit of a jump there. Valde and Kenny see each other. That's a really good smoke. Gonna make life hard, but oh my God. Kenny calling Valde's bluff, and he's gonna go down. What on earth is happening? Kenny with a fantastic couple of kills makes it look easy, and he ends the first half at 14. That's gonna strike fear in your heart.
Yeah, those 2 kills from Kenny, that's what makes him so dangerous. Those are so fast. Obviously, the one he had to have spotted that right before the smoke plume, but second shot into connector is beautiful. And a great half from G2, all things considered. Losing the pistol a couple rounds, then they run into some trouble, and they figure it out with the timeout. All right. This shot is the disgusting one. With the jump, Cajun doesn't even fire at that. He just doesn't have time to react. So 8-7 for North. Obviously much better than Inferno. They fought their way. They're still in this map. They don't have to make a comeback this time. Switching over to the T side.
What's the most exciting T pistol you can think of on this map? What's the most explosive thing they could do?
Just blow up drop. That would be the most exciting, wouldn't it? Just like
all 5?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
That's what we call in the matchmaking, the rank S's of North America.
Rank G.
No, but that, I mean, that is like, it is a very tough, that's where the question always comes on the CT side, because you think that drop problem, that's where the Glocks can get closest. On this map, there's a lot of ground to cover. So there's plenty of opportunities for these pistols to be effective. Going to go out for 3 players towards long. How aggressive do they want to be? 2 players, it looked like, at drop. It's going to depend a lot on the success of these 3 players.
Oh, Apex. This is no fun at all. He's got the Deagle close range. Hearing a lot of stomping about. North, are they not going to check this? Kenny, one beautiful headshot. Apex for the kill on the Deagle. A second as well, and it's all falling apart. Headshot on Valder. And now, Config just... He's got the bomb site, but not much else. Val, that's ridiculous. Apex is gone, and I bet he has no idea why. Config, this should be unwinnable. He's trapped in the corner. He doesn't have the bomb, that's far away. And they know exactly where he is. Taking a bit more of a fight, and he eventually goes down to NBK. G2 winning a big round. Smith is excited. And G2 tying up the scoreline.
If you're running that strat, how have you not cleared those danger stairs? That should be priority number 1 when you get around that corner, because the other half of the attack is going to come from that mid ramp. You have 2 players there who need to get by, and obviously the presence, and that is extremely. I love it.
That's amazing.
We need to bring that picture back. How did I forget about that?
The meme has actually been reincarnated in the middle of the grand final. I've never seen that ever happen before. Apex has to fall back right away, otherwise they're going to come and try and run him down. Last time he did a good job. This time, it's just pure running. He's not even going to fight it. Just letting on a bit of a trek down the stairwell. Good grenade on Cajun, who's the only one without any armor.
Kenny gets away with one. There's a gap in that smoke that I don't think he expected to be there at first, so fortunate that there's only pistols on the north side of things. 3 players. There we go, we're back. I believe North is going to readjust towards that B bomb site. So you have NBK over towards platform on these stairs. He's going to fall away. Shock's going to be under pressure first with the MP9. That's a good kill. He's got to fall away. He's got to back off. Aldi chasing it down, though. That's when Body pounces. It's a struggle to get the kill, but he does. And unfortunately, that's the bomb. North has to fight all the way over towards drop to get it. And it's too costly. Wipeout for G2. They managed that well.
See, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of time that fight goes on, the secondary fight, but it's long enough.
Yes.
It's just, an extra second and a half. But then the player by Chicken Coop has more space to work with. It's down to some pretty small details when you're at this level of Counter-Strike. 9-8, and G2 have the lead.
And again, NBK only investing in armor into this round, knowing it's going to be unarmored opponents. Don't waste the $3,000-$4,000 if you don't have to. Shox wants to stick around for this fight, knowing that they don't have armor, but he's brought down to 6. Baldi's going to chase him down. They don't want him to get away. They know he's low. They would love this kill. Body's trying to help out, and this might be expensive, but the nade comes in at the right moment. There they are, cleaning it all out. G2 Esports holds the line.
And that, Moses, is what friends are for.
That's what friends are for. It's the buddy system.
It is. Beautiful. G2 not giving up on their injured teammate, leave no man behind, and it's 10-8, so 2-round lead here. And I don't know, this is a very open game right now. I have no way of predicting how this is going to play out, but I am worried about the fact that Kenny is doing so well. He's actually outdoing MSL at the moment on 19 kills. Now he's on the CT side. How do they shut Kenny down? Because if they cannot, I don't think they can expect to win this map.
This is where, if you're North, you're kind of excited because you have Config, you have one of the best players in the world, and this is where you can pick and choose where to put him, and this is going to be a B execute. Shox is a big job to do, a lot of smoke in his face, but actually North decided not to come through it. They felt some kind of a presence. They've readjusted towards drop, so NBK is going to be the main brunt of defense. He's got to hold the line first.
Shox hiding in the corner. A lot of people down in that drop, and they're going to go for the boosted peak. Kenny falls back and is going to hug NBK for a moment there as they're shuffling back and forth. It's so dangerous when there are this many people close by. NBK goes down. AC with a strong opening headshot. Now there's trouble on the bomb side, and Kenny, no chance at all. Apex charging in, and he's going to get the kill, dropping the bomb. Suddenly, G2 are on the bomb side after all. Shox is gone next. Apex with a great headshot. He's already got the double. One more would do it, taking the economy away. He's on the stairwell. He's got the time, and a flick comes in. Apex with a triple, and that little cheeky smile. G2 up to 11. A gorgeous round.
A very hectic round because North wanted to execute much raids, all the counter smokes from G2. If it's not for this flank, this timely flank from Apex, they likely do not win this round. They were about to be run over. Brilliant stuff from G2. Some confusing rotations around drop though, with Kenny S's AWP still. They get away with it. It's back to pistols for the north side of things. They have utility this time, and Config wants to get aggressive. He wants to make something happen. He knows Shox is up here waiting for the reload. And now he slowly creeps through. No footsteps made. There's the shots. There's the kill. He's going for one more. NBK in the open. He's open for the deagle, but it's not coming in.
It goes down to Config in the second barrage. Body has to be very careful. He can't go down here. He's going to have to stick around and defend Kenny. Otherwise, he's alone with the AWP in those double doors. And this time, the flank for Apex is not quick enough. Valde comes charging through. And as you see now, they put the pressure on Kenny. He does get a shot on Valde, but he has to back off. Apex, can he open it up again? This time, he's going to fall. And you said it, Config. Such a strong player. Triple in the round. And North winning a critical round here at the Grand Finals. 11-9 the scoreline.
Oh, Shox uses the entirety of all of his bullets going through that smoke. And that's when Config comes through with the kill. He got NBK just at the end. That's a fortunate shot. And just to point out how much this game sometimes comes down to those half-second timings, Body is waiting for that push through the smoke over by Chicken Coop, but he turns for a teammate's flashbang to push through it, for him to take over some of the control of that site. And as he looks away, he gets pushed. Unfortunate for him, but still, that's a huge win for North.
You can see the focus in Shoxy's eyes right now. That face that just looks so worried.
He does look sad at times, doesn't he?
He does. It's been, I think, too many tournaments where he's had to go out and give everyone a hug, and it's about time that he brings it back. They did win this battle last time. It seems like North have improved since. It could get a bit scary if they can't win this map, and map 3 comes up. It's obviously what everyone wants to see at this point in time. 11-9, as we said. The AWP is still in play on Kenny, so nobody is safe on the north side.
Oh, definitely not. Shox, though, is pushed up down mid. He's going to have Apex that helps him out and baits for him. Meanwhile, North is taking control of the A side of the map, the A halls. We've got Valde and AZ watching for a B push, so still split across the map, but the bomb is here towards A. Just having a presence there, pushing back any aggressive defense at the A bomb site, and Kenny, they've spotted out the op. They know where it is now as he fires a shot.
It's good confirmation. Nice timing for Apex. If they get close to the MP9 in middle, maybe Shox could make it work, but he isn't quite sure yet. And now there's a pretty big force from G2 over at the A side here. Putting a lot of faith, I think, in Kenny over at the plateau to get the shot in case anyone comes through. We're down to 30 seconds, so the Danish side, they have to make up their minds. And given the fact that the bomb is over here, you think this might just be a B push eventually. Just 20 seconds, flash into the middle. A great setup here. Body gonna get one, and Shox will follow it up close range. Now Kenny, the only one standing on the bomb site. One kill here would probably settle it. 10 seconds left now, 9 seconds. Flick comes in on Valde, dropping the bomb. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. He can just get the bomb, I think, in the last couple of seconds. One, and it's gonna come in. That is as close as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. And now, AC and Cajun, this is the round. 2 versus 4. They've got the rifles, they've got the AWP. Bit of a spray comes in from AC, but he can't make it work. And Cajun, so much left. He gets one, but they're coming in from all angles. He's out in the open. He's down to NBK. What a round from G2.
Kenny just barely holding on. He saves it. He was rotating away and just, I think, realized that he was susceptible to the B platform. He was staring at drop. Great idea from North, but it was the bait and switch in mid that does it. Nice job from the G2 defense, just getting back in time. So now North That's tough. They just win the round with pistols and they got to go right back into a loss. But they still have money. That's the benefit. They salvaged a lot of weapons in that pistol, in that force buy win. So now Cajun still has the AWP. It's still pretty much a full buy for this T side.
It's not such a big gap as it was on Inferno, but a double AWP always going to be a bit worrying. MSL, do you really want to play this game? The the AWP on the other side could be very dangerous. Again, 3 men outside of the B bomb side. Is MSL creeping on in here with Config behind him. Shock's really close range, and Apex is there. It's a dangerous crossfire. Shox wants to peek it. This could be perfect timing, but what a headshot. MSL taking down Shox. Did not expect to see that. This is a strong start.
Yeah, Shox seems so hesitant. It seemed like he wanted to take it, but it was so slow going. Never really actually made the peek or the commit to the fight. He gets picked off. Now, to G2's credit, they haven't moved anyone. Still trusting in Apex. He's probably telling them everything is fine over at A. But Apex needs to live. He cannot fall here to Config. And North at the moment is saying he's either going to be a lurker or they say make the play, make the contact, and then we execute B based off of what you get. Looks like he's going to be more of a lurking role as they're down drop already. Body is here behind the wall, and NBK inside the bomb site, 2-man defense. There's Apex on a Config on the other side of the map, but it's Body and NBK. You hold it down, and now everyone's getting eliminated. North makes no progress on a knife's edge, and it goes the way of G2. AZ trying for something, but no one gives him any peeks.
Such a great defense. Not easy if you're G2 to make the call to just have Apex there. But they have a 3-man stack at the B bomb site, and they're going to make it 13 rounds here. Getting closer to that grand final victories. They are just 3 rounds away now, and North must be able to feel the pressure.
Yeah, they absolutely are at the moment. AZ has the AWP, and a timeout is called by them because everyone else is sitting right around $2,000, give or take. So if you want to buy around this AWP, if you feel like this is the decision they have to make, do they think the AWP is the answer? And if they do, they have to buy here with it. If not, they have to save around, let G2 get up towards 14, and you have a better buy in the next round. And that's the decision you make if you're North at the moment.
The whole grand finals riding on the end of this map here. North did a great job in the first half, but the second half they have been completely stuck in their tracks. They just can't get out. G2 are looking like such a powerful team right now. And that AWP on Kenny, it's a problem that they just can't solve right now. He's too good, and they have no good answers for it at all.
No, they really don't, especially considering how he's being used. We saw him at the B bomb site at one time when G2 was on low, a half buy, that he's basically used to just man down one side of the map and let everyone else deal with the other side. Again, he's over towards A. Apex is cheating towards B just in case. Now he's pretty much committed. AZ throwing some nades. You're not going to bring extra attention to the B bomb site without throwing a body at it if you're AZ, so Kenny and Apex don't need to budge.
And the fact alone that Kenny is over on this side again just makes it so unpredictable if you're North. He's been B quite a bit. And now over by that truck. 55 seconds. Deciding to go and peek in towards the plateau just to find out who's there. Kenny flashed, and he's not going to get the kill, but Apex will get a great double before he's finally returned upon. And now Kenny's in position here. They don't have the Molotov to dig him out of this corner. AZ really wants a headshot on Body. Not going to get it just yet. This P250's lethal, though. But Kenny's taking down Valder in the meantime. Body drops an MBK with maybe the most critical kill of the round there, taking down Cajun. AZ comes charging out. It's 14 rounds for G2. They are almost there. The focus is incredible here. This team has really suffered in the past from making silly mistakes deep in games like these. Doesn't seem to be happening now.
No, and they've also suffered from at times appearing disorganized, but it seems they've put the work and they have the setups. From Kenny S and Apex, that's huge dedication to that setup. It's, again, it's that, Kenny grabs the attention, Apex close up, surprises North, but they don't have any information of what's coming mid that entire time. No one peeked it. They were just focused. So just trusting in the fact that they had the right read in the round. And now it's truly desperation for North. As I said, with that buy, with the full investment around that op, that was their last hope. This is just so tough. Glocks unarmored, body and shocks, even blind. He's getting kills everywhere. They're mowing him down. They're getting closer to the trophy. One round away is G2.
It's a good attempt here from North. Sometimes you can get lucky with the right flashbang. They got the flashbang, but Shocks just wasn't interested anyway.
Again, the buddy system coming up huge for G2.
Yeah, it's very impressive what we're witnessing here. They did it at the Pro League final, and they might be taking the DreamHack Masters trophy as well. 15-9. This G2 team under a lot of criticism pretty much from the inception.
Yes.
People were not pleased with their performances. They were expecting more out of this star-studded lineup, but it's starting to really work. You're seeing what it's all about here.
In all fairness as well, they weren't happy with some of their performance as well. And they said it was going to be a long-term project, and they said they were going to work on it. And we're starting to see the results of that work.
Battle here, and Kenny to take down MSL. Not the way you want to get started in a round like this. 3 versus 5, and G2 looking phenomenal. An almost indestructible team in this tournament. Kenny sneaking down, and I think he might have even spotted the bomb, so they should know what's coming. A bit of a mission. Flashbang comes in, and Shocks at least is being forced back, but eventually Cajun has to win this fight against Kenny. He hasn't been able to all game long, and finally he does. I don't want to say it's light at the end of the tunnel. There's more to come. Shocks by the chicken coop, and they're trying to see if they can bait out the shot, but he's not buying. Taking down Valder and falling in behind cover. He wants to take this fight. He wants to end this game. AC and Cajun, they know they're in trouble. 30 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is on the other side while the fight is happening here. Body coming really close to AC, and there's the headshot, and it's all on Cajun B. 20 seconds in a 1 versus 4 here. G2 Esports have played an incredible tournament, and they're just 1 kill away, and it's gonna happen. 16-9 as G2 are your DreamHack Masters champions. Amazing.
From start to finish in these games, G2 has looked so focused, so prepared, dismantling a team that we said the very same thing about just yesterday. Kenny S with the opping in this grand final was phenomenal, and the whole team coming through. No questions about their play here today.
Phenomenal to see it. You mentioned that fateful game back in 2015 where Kenny disappeared on this very map. This time he was here with an amazing performance. They win the grand finals. Your champions, ladies and gentlemen, G2.
I say we let him go for a minute. What do you think?
Sorry?
I say we let him go for a minute. What do you think?
What?
I say we let him go. The crowd's hyped. What do you think?
Oh, it's amazing.
It is. Congratulations. You guys have grabbed the big W here at DreamHack Malmö. How do you feel?
Oh, I mean, we were not coming into this tournament expecting a win, so I mean, we've taken it game by game, and we took down some of the biggest beasts in the world. I mean, the feeling is great in our team. I mean, obviously we just won, but I mean, the fashion everything we showed, the way we played as a team, I mean, it is a very good fitting.
You're saying the best of the best, and that is certainly true. SK, NIP, and now North have fallen to your guns, and looking forward, North putting up a good fight here. Talk to me a little bit about their battle back.
I mean, it was a tough game. Like on Inferno, we kind of lost ourselves on the city side. They had some good rounds and they just pushed Banana every single round. Aside from that, I mean, Cobalt was a tough fight. We just managed to win the economy battle. That was the most important. And yeah, we just locked down the bomb sites and managed to know more or less what they were doing, make the good gambles. So yeah, I mean, just proud of the way the team played.
When you came into this matchup, there was a little bit of time to prepare, knowing that your opponent was going to be North. What did you guys look to capitalize on here?
Nothing at all. I mean, just shutting down Config because he's an amazing player, and I mean, he showed it time and time again. And aside from that, I mean, we played our game, focused on ourselves. We were not sure what the maps were going to be. And yeah, it just happened.
It just kind of happened. That's exactly how that works. Looking at this, though, when a player like Apex comes online, and honestly, he's been putting him down all tournament long, how much easier is it for you guys?
I mean, due to the fact that he is also leading Mirage and that he prepared the map, he showed up individually. I mean, he's by far the MVP of the tournament.
Now, one last question I have for you. In a team that has seen its inconsistency, is this a new chapter for G2?
Hope so. I mean, we've been working on that, working on the basic and trying to grind one game after another. And hopefully we can grind one even on top of another. And that's the only thing we're aiming for.
That's all it is. It's building blocks, baby. All right, well, I'm going to throw it one last time over to the desk where Alex and the boys are waiting by.
It's a feeling not everyone gets in competitive Counter-Strike, but this time, the pleasure is all G2's. The French roster that are up and down all over the shop. Now they're on the high as they'll be walking through this stadium, doing their signings, looking at that trophy and realizing it is indeed theirs. They are your champions of DreamHack Masters Malmö. A long time coming, perhaps, for them, as the Samurais get another trophy for their cabinet. And it was quite swift as well. 2 games is all it took to best North, a team that have been equally as exciting here in Sweden, and the growth for both of these teams is apparent. What a game, Chad.
Yeah, they did it back in Dallas in the Pro League Finals, and they did it again. Very convincing, or at least it looked that way for the most part. Config did the best he could on that first map, but on the second, it just looked all to be G2. That fight back in the second part of the first half was phenomenal. Great to see. Kenny S putting up big numbers, getting it done for the boys.
Yeah, equally impressive to see that G2's way of actually winning both maps was, following the similar recipe on both T sides. You could see immediate pressure towards one bomb site to kind of just keep North very honest about how they need to set up their CT setups and that kind of stuff. So eventually it allows for G2 to just by default get more room to work with eventually. And after more or less struggling to figure out how to actually deal with Plateau and Cajun, especially MSL, playing that sidewalk position, they make a very nice adaptation of putting more focus down towards drop. It takes a bit too long for North to actually figure out what's going on in that period of time, and that allows for G2 to actually have a bit of a salvaged T side. But they've been very clear about how they wanted to approach their T sides in this finals, and I think that's a sign of a bit of a new chapter in G2's storyline. The fact that they're actually no longer necessarily relying on just going out and being individuals. Now they're actually focused on doing stuff as a team, more so than ever.
And they won it as a team as well. Photo time, you can see Shocks there.
What a pose.
What a pose.
That's like paint me like one of your French ladies pose.
Yeah, we have Shocks, NBK, Apex, Body, and Kenny S. The 5 of them alongside Smith, their coach, NK, their analyst, all coming together, all the tools in the right place. And it is indeed picture time. The fans certainly will be chasing these boys, champions here in Sweden. Janko, we haven't heard your thoughts yet. To see G2 do it, you had had faith in them in the first map, expecting to see a third, and they've gone and exceeded all expectations.
Yeah, they played really well in this series. You could see what we were talking about in the pre-game, that they are going to have a lot of confidence coming into the game against North because of previous results they had against them, most notably the Pro League Finals, where they defeated them in a best-of-5 finals. And you could tell in the second half on that cobblestone game, 2 consecutive rounds where G2 is at a disadvantage. They make the correct gambles. When North tries to execute the fake, they have 3 players stacked towards A. They have all the information, they shut it down. Following round, they're in a 4v5 situation. You can see how they left Apex alone towards A, still had 3 players towards B. I think that comes from the confidence. I think maybe against another team, they make that extra rotation and North perhaps gets entrance into the bomb side. But G2 very much on point throughout the whole tournament. Didn't really, have a serious struggle despite that one map that was closed against NIP, and yes, the scare against SK Gaming where they made the comeback.
Their path to lift that trophy, they best none other than their French rivals Envy after, of course, that French roster shuffle. They follow that with a best of 3 versus grand finalists of the most recent major Immortals. And then the battle begins versus SK Gaming. They do get the double Brazilian brilliance, and they take them both down. And following that, we have a nice, solid road as they, yes, as much as the crowd are giving them love, they did take the favorites out of this one, at least the crowd favorites, NIP, to take them to this point now, as North are the last team for them to, the last scalp for them to take.
Not only that, Alex, they notch their first mark in their belt for the Intel Grand Slam. So that's nice for G2 to put that one there.
Absolutely. 4 is the magic number for that. 4 wins amongst the DreamHack Masters, IEM, Pro League, and all of those goodies combined, as well as ESL 1, will get you an extra $1 million in your back pocket. So that's a step in the right direction. SK actually had it taken away from them, none other than G2. So it's like, no, you can't have it. It's our turn to get 1 notch on the belt. 4 is the match. Doesn't sound like much.
Doesn't really, does
it?
Not
Only 4 tournament wins.
Major tournaments.
Out of 10. Yeah.
I think G2's next chance might be at Oakland if they qualify or get invited, and then after that it could be Pro League finals. They're not going to be in New York, which is the next one.
Oh, okay. So there'll be a chance for someone else to go ahead and start chasing, maybe even SK. With all of that considered, I mean, if I asked you guys to name a tournament MVP, I mean, we'll do a match MVP as well. I think actually that's clear. We'll do that first. Kenny S has been decided by you guys. Just top of the scoreboard, but also his impact in the game. I mean, we sit there in the green room so many times, Yank, and we just go, Kenny doesn't miss these, or Kenny doesn't lose these. Consistent presence in the server, or how does he hit these?
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of questions asked of the French AWPer, who's done what he couldn't last time on that, or previously on that grand stage. Cobble especially, a bit of a scary one for him, but he's gone and kind of broken the curse.
Absolutely, and he's also had a great game against North in that Pro League final, so he as well seems to be very comfortable playing against this team. He doesn't have an AWPer, Cajun on the other side. He is more passive, more defensive. He doesn't have someone who's necessarily going to challenge him early on and try to pick him off, and you could see how the teamwork is there for G2. Apex going first in front of Kenny, taking that hit, and then Kenny can make all those trades and open up the bomb site for his team.
To see a team like this, with players like this, but also every single time they're interviewed and asked, what have you been doing? Where has this win come from? It does just come back to that simple answer from Nathan or whoever it is, just saying, we're just focusing on our own game.
Fundamentals.
Yeah, I mean,
so fun.
I guess also, post-game interviews after you win the tournament, the players aren't really, they're not going to go in depth and think things through. It's just the usual generic answers most of the time. But I think still G2, there's a significant amount of work for them to be done if they're going to be a consistent contender, right? I don't think it's a surprise for anyone that G2 comes and has a great tournament and wins it, but what's going to be a surprise is if they manage to repeat it at the next one or one of the following 2 or 3 tournaments, right? Same thing happened. Pro League, they come, they win the tournament, then ECS finals, Cologne, Major, nothing happens. 3 huge tournaments in a row and they're nowhere to be found. So G2 needs to find a way to get performances like this on a more consistent basis.
Everyone does. Consistency is key, especially if you won that Intel Grand Slam. I guess we have to start talking about Counter-Strike. It's the game we've been talking about for 16 hours a day, and you guys have been watching as well. But I think, we had a player break. We had a roster mania, and now we've had our first offline event since that. And so, gents, I mean, what have we learned? It's been a whole, a week of Counter-Strike at the highest level with some of the most crazy kind of not only vetoes, we've had teams not succeeding, we've had teams we weren't expecting to succeed, boss it to the semi-finals. I mean, Chad, if you had to review this tournament and review Counter-Strike currently, what would be your top 3 lessons?
I've made some really bold statements over the course of this week, Alex. I actually think that FaZe, I don't think this iteration of the roster is going to be as successful as the last. That's one of the big ones as a takeaway for me. I think Astralis and SK need to reapproach the way that they look at the game and maybe go in with more gumption, actually want to impose their will, play proactive as opposed to reactive Counter-Strike, something that I've definitely said they're fantastic at, but they need to maybe look at how they go about addressing that when they get into a match. And from there, I think Gambit, they're showing they're more legit. I'm still, look, I got sold, I got a little bit unsold.
You're being teased
I'm
and
just on
around.
So I don't know where to be exactly with them and Immortals. It's going to take time to see where these teams kind of even out, where they end up being if they get figured out.
One team you actually forgot about, though. Have you lost all faith in Virtus Pro?
I could never lose all faith in Virtus Pro, unfortunately.
Okay, fair.
I'm sorry.
No, fair. I've been there many a times.
Yeah.
And I'm on the brink right now.
Yeah, I mean, I almost forgot that we had VP at this tournament. We had Cloud9 at this tournament. We had, you know...
We only had them for a day. So
Even that, there's a couple of hours.
That, Alex.
I spaced on that when we saw Na'Vi. We kind of weren't sure what they were going to be doing without Guardian. I guess there's more to be... The question is just more time. We had that that was a summation for a lot of the teams we lost early in the tournament. However, what about you? Is there anything to add to the pile? Gambit showed that they don't need Zeus.
Yeah.
We've seen North show that Valdir is positive and there is positivity surrounding the Danes. I mean, what else?
Honestly, Chad did a really good job of summing up pretty much the big highlights.
Didn't touch on the Astralis boys, though.
Didn't touch on the Astralis boys. Well, he did, actually. You lie, because he mentioned SK and Astralis both need to reapproach their game plan. So there you have it.
Okay, readdress the game.
Yeah, no, but by and large, I think it's, again, a common trend when you see roster changes or longer breaks. It's going to be a matter of time for a lot of these teams, and I think we saw that there's a lot of irks and quirks that they need to sort out. But obviously, they will have the second part of the season to do so. But overall, I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised by how high level we saw throughout this tournament from plenty of the teams, and especially G2, obviously, who end up winning the entire tournament. But the fact that they, you do see progress from time to time after having quite a long period of just seeing this. The same teams do the same mistakes over and over again, and you do kind of burn out on that and kind of repeating yourself as a bit of a broken record every time you mention them. So to see some progress is always welcome.
Absolutely. Outside of all of that, guys, we've been playing a game that isn't Counter-Strike. We're playing the prediction game, and we do have a champion. Now, word on the street is he's not here.
Yeah, it's Pimp. Pimp wins.
Congratulations, Jacob, wherever you may be. We've got a gorgeous trophy for you.
Must be nice. I didn't know you can lose points.
Yeah, because that was wrong, Yanko. I told you time and time again. We fixed it up.
Okay,
it's right now.
So that means this trophy will be going in this cabinet.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, but that means we're going to get Jacob's face on this bad boy.
Yeah, for the next event.
For the next event. Chad, are you proud of your creation?
I am. I might make a better creation for the next one.
But I like this one. What? It has such prestige
version
attached
2.
to it. Maybe we could paint it.
Maybe we'll have a collection of trophies.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I like this. I like the sound of that. Anyway, this trophy isn't anything like what G2 have been rocking, so we're going to go ahead and put this one away for now. And we'll say our goodbyes. Gents, absolute pleasure to share the desk with you and have another week of Counter-Strike. You enjoyed our time off, but it's back on the grind, Yanko.
Yeah, we had a couple of good drafts, Alex. The pool has been pretty wide.
Shots ran out of mana.
A couple of great comebacks and a few disasters. So all in all, I think a strong start to the second part of the year.
Yeah, second part of the year kicks off with a bang in Malmö, and we've got so many questions that need answering over more tournaments now. However, you had a good time?
I had a blast. Super fun to attend my first Masters. Lovely to spend time with you, gents, on the desk, and looking to do it more as 2017 chugs along.
Ninjas couldn't make it to that grand final, but they did make an impact. We haven't talked too much about the Swedes, but the jerseys in Malmö were plenty, and I'm sure we'll see them back next time here in Malmö. This Masters series just continue. You'll be seeing many more of them. Chad, you had a good time in the beautiful Sweden. You saw so much of it, I'm sure,
when we got evacuated for the fire, I saw that fountain, which is a face spewing water. I thought that was quite nice. But maybe I'll take a quick look this evening, see what's around.
Should we go for a wander?
Yeah.
We'll go for a walk. We'll go do some things outside. And you should too, because you've been joining us for another DreamHack Masters event. Your DreamHack Masters Malmö 2017 champions are the French side G2. And now all it does is set the scene for another fantastic half a year of Counter-Strike. Rosters have changed, and now as the dust settles, we wait to see who will truly be the master of 2017. Thank you so much for joining us here in Sweden. We've been DreamHack. It's been a whole long day, and now you can go to bed happy knowing that G2 are your champions.